tell them you know. Oh, yeah. Rounding up the book to read, I gotta get them all looking overseas, and you know it, and you know it. Yeah. Rounding up the, yeah. Rounding up the book to read, I gotta get them all looking overseas, and you know it, and you know it. Yeah. Reading through the law to see, I gotta dot the I's, even cross the T's, and you know it, and you know it. Praying to the Lord, have mercy. Show me where you wanna go first, you know. Oh yeah. While I'm teaching to the people that's thirsty, searching for the truth that's hidden, you know. Oh yeah. Speak through the mouth of my lips when I'm. Show me where you wanna go next, you know. Right away. If you lost and you don't know where the truth at, looking all around but you don't know where to go. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Our Hidden History Radio. We're back to chapter 14, going strong. And we're going to continue from where we left off. We left off at Hannibal's decline. But to my left, before I continue,
Officer Haim.
Officer Laquac.
Officer Jezreel.
And Officer Onias.
And we're at chapter 14, and we left off with Hannibal's decline, Hannibal falling. And so we're going to continue in that route regarding the Carthaginian decline, the rise and fall of Carthage, and their travels. So basically we're going to go into their travels is going to play a very important role in another figure who the world knows about. So let's get into that. We're going to open up with the
world knows about. So let's get into that.
I want to show y'all something.
We're going to open up
before
with
I show you this video.
This book here.
I'm going to show you this
I want
right
to
here.
show y'all something real quick before I show you this video.
Yeah, I want to show
you this right here.
something.
That's
Now,
it, man.
the book I have, I can't find it. There's another book
y'all
that has the
something
same
now.
thing.
It's
So we're gonna read this here real
the
quick.
book I have, I
70,
can't find it. There's another book that has the same thing. So I'm going to read this here.
regarding the
P70,
skills of the
regarding
Carthaginians.
Blow it up for me.
The Carthaginian, matter of fact, do I want to go there first? Yes, fine. We start there first. I'll go back. I'll backtrack. Yeah.
Some say that Gordian, as soon as he arrived at Carthage, considering the great strength of Maximon, and that there was no force in
Africa
able to oppose him, strangle himself.
No, I was going to say it says strangled himself or and something himself, some old English word.
I think it's strangled.
Yes.
Strangled himself? Okay. Go ahead.
Old English. Able to oppose him, strangle himself, or he killed himself. But the citizens, concealing his death.
Okay, yeah, he did kill himself. Damn. Go ahead.
Made choice of his son to head them, and come into an engagement. The Carthaginians were superior to the enemy in number, but without order and undisciplined. They had lived a long time in an uninterrupted tranquility, and were enervated by ease and pleasure, to which they had resigned themselves. Besides, they were unprovided of arms and all sort of ammunition. Only each man brought with him from home an axe or a dagger, or a hunting lance, or a stake burnt and sharpened at the end, for the defense of his body. On the other hand, the Numidians were expert archers and excellent horsemen.
So the Numidians and the Carthaginians are the same people. I'll get to that. I brought this out last week, but I'm gonna bring it back again so y'all don't
I'll
forget.
get to that. I brought this out last week, but I'm
The
gonna bring it back
Numidians were
again.
expert archers and excellent horsemen, and so much that they ride without bridles, with a switch only in their hand, with which they could manage and command their horses as they thought fit.
That's all. So the Numidians were skilled, expert archers. Keep this in mind. The Numidians and Carthaginians are the same people. Give me real quick section of race, real quick.
And
Yeah.
It says that they ride without the bridle.
Yeah, that's
Let me
heavy.
show you some movies about God
Right.
on this side of the world doing the same thing.
Yes. Yes, definitely. They're out of bridle, which is crazy.
You know how hard that thing hurts.
Yeah. Some horses have a solid body. Let me see. Black counts. No, not that page. I don't want that yet. What page is that? 196? Yes, sir. No, I want the old. I want 80 something. Not that yet. I don't want that yet. Don't jump ahead. That's for later. I just want this to be there, so I ain't gotta bring all these books again. Okay. Go back to page 80. Was it 88? Yes, sir. Try 89. Yeah, bring it over. There's a section race, volume 1 by J.A. Rogers. Pretty good stuff in here. Like I said, I take what I can out of it. We mentioned Hannibal's wife. Matter of fact, go back there real quick. Go back to 88. I want to touch something real quick. Go back to page 88. I think we had an Edomite in the comment board last week. And he was like, yeah, he was happy, like, yeah, Hannibal's wife was white. You guys are racist. No, she wasn't white.
Right.
Remember, I bought the book where it says that, and it says that Hannibal's army, this is the book, where it mentions that Hannibal had an army of Spaniards in his military. He had Numidians, he had Gauls, and he had Spaniards in his military. Keep that in mind. He had Gauls, Numidians, and Spaniards in his military. Read this here, blow it up some. This should be the whole thing, yes, we can see it. There you go. What do I have underlined now? Start from Hannibal and his African troops. Start there.
Hannibal and his African troops must have brought a great deal of Negro strain into the Roman population.
Hannibal and his African troops. Go ahead.
For 13 years, they dominated the peninsula from the Alps to Naples. Hannibal himself was a full-blooded Negro with woolly hair, as his coins show.
Go ahead.
His wife was Spanish and perhaps white.
His wife was Spanish and perhaps white. Now, J.A. Rogers, a black author, he assumed she was white because she was from Spain. But you have to remember, we ruled Spain. Remember his brother-in-law Hasdrubal had Spain on lock. Remember the Romans won Spain from us.
Right.
The mines, the silver mines and gold mines that they acquired, the Romans acquired in conquering Hannibal and his brother family out of Spain, made them a Roman Empire. So our people were living in Spain, and a lot of his troops came from that area. So it's the reason why it says she was perhaps white, is because she was from Spain. That don't mean nothing. Now, her name was Emils. Emils is the feminine version of Hamilcar. Hamilcar, which is Hannibal's father. Hamilcar and Emils. It means princess. Hamilcar means, I think it means, Melkart is like a king. Like Malek. Or Malak, or Malik, or whatever. Malik, Malak, same thing. So her name was Emils. She had a Punic name. Okay, she had a Punic. Why would an Edomite woman have a Punic name?
Right.
No, she was not no Edomite woman. She was a Jake woman. But she was from Spain. She wasn't from Africa. She wasn't a Carthaginian from Africa. She was a Carthaginian from Spain. Because Spain was our province, as was Africa. Her name was Emils. Okay, Imilce. Emils, which is a Punic name, meaning that she was a Punic origin. She was his people. She was not no white woman. But he assumed because she was from Spain that she was white. But she wasn't. Let's continue. Go to the next page. Next page. So, boom. Sorry, Esau. She wasn't no white woman. Nice try, though. Not that it matters, but she wasn't. Where we at? We
want
start from there. Start from Rizal, I guess.
Rizal and Reckless. and recluse have also spoken of the marked Negro strain in the in North African peoples. The former says Negroes crossed the Alps with Hannibal and fell at Worth beside McMahon.
It says Negroes crossed the Alps. Remember, the Gauls were with him. The Numidians were with him. Now, the Gauls were a Celtic peoples. I'm going to get to that later on. The Gauls were a Celtic people. Keep that in mind. Celtic, whatever. The Gauls were a Celtic people. It says they were Negroes that crossed the Alps with him. So when he came across those Alps, whoever came along with him was all black people.
Right.
Regardless of what they're called in books, they were all Negro. All of them. Go ahead.
Whatever their original nature may have been, all this population must have been alloyed with a strong Ethiopian element.
With a strong black element. All of them are black. That's what it's saying. Ethiopian element means black. Go ahead.
The entire Semitic and Hamitic population of Africa has, in other words, a mulatto character which extends to the Semites outside Africa. Hannibal, most famous of all Carthaginians, was a Negro, as was said.
As I said in the last page. Continue.
The North African region was once known as Barbary.
Barbary is also known now today as the Maghreb. That's northwest Africa. Carthage and all the way from Libya, all the way over, extending over into Morocco, Mauritania, Algeria, all that area there. Okay, including part of Spain, because it's all connected. That's Barbary states. The Barbary states. Read on.
And its people, the Berbers.
Well, Berbers, go ahead. Oh, remember that map I showed y'all 2 weeks ago? It said Berber Jews. Go ahead.
Are barbarians, who despite the bad use to which their name was put by the Europeans, were once leaders in culture.
See, so the Europeans named us barbarians. Why? Because we didn't speak that Latin and Greek. We spoke Hebrew in this area. So they said, these are the barbarian states. These guys is black and don't speak no Greek or Latin. These are barbarians. This is the Berbers. That's where that term came from, barbarians. So barbarians is Jakes. So in Paul and Acts, when you read about barbarians that Paul's making reference to, Paul's talking about Israelites in that book. Barbarians and Scythians, that's Jakes. That's Israelites who did not speak the Greek and Latin language that Paul was able to speak also by the Spirit of God, to speak in tongues. Paul dealt with them also. The disciples dealt with them also. I know, it just comes as a heartbreak to you. Paul was talking to Israel every time.
That's right.
In every category of the word.
Hey, Dig, what's beautiful about this is when our people understands this history, like for what it's doing for me, there's a show on Netflix called Barbarians.
Right.
And when I watch that series, it only forces me to see Israelites in place of those people they put in there.
Right.
Because that's all part of the whitewash. The whitewash, they take the original characters and put white images as opposed to the real people that the history is talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, so when I watch that, I put Israelites in the space of the white people they put in there as the barbarians.
Right. As you come across this history, it gives you, like you of Zahim, as well as those who are watching, a new insight
Absolutely.
when you watch historical things now
Yes,
on
sir.
TV. Because now you're seeing, hey, this is not white people I'm looking at. Well,
Right.
it is, but this is my people.
Right.
But it's white folks playing my people.
Yep.
That's what you're seeing. Spartacus, my people. 300, my people. All us.
And that's why they call them actors.
Right, actors, exactly. And there's another show that came on called The Tudors.
Right.
That's all King James family line.
Wow.
All Tudors. The Tudors, that's all Jake. That's King James' mother's line. Tudors. That's Jake. And then I didn't know that. Those white people, the white man is God. He's everyone. No.
That's it.
That's us.
Flush them.
That's all Jake. I'll get to that. I'm working on that.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
working on that now. That's in the makings. I'll come across some stuff. I'll bring that out. I might bring that out. I don't know, because I know Captain Jan and Captain Isaac will never go there. I don't want to intervene.
Funny.
But it's so tempting.
Funny you said that though. There was a class Captain Isaac did years back on tutors,
Right.
And it shows how Israel, the young kings, always had tutors to teach them in the ways of our laws and statutes and commandments. So even though they were young and ruling while they were young, they were under the tutors of the high priest, of that time.
Tutors and governors. So
Right, right, exactly. But they were, their names is the last name was the tutors.
Tutors,
But
right.
That goes back to that line that eventually falls into what is known as the Stuart line. Stuart is King James' last name. King James Stuart. Lord Darnley Stuart. Mary, Lord Darnley, his father, Stuart. And both him and his mother, both him and his wife, both come out of King Henry's line. Also black. Henry the First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. They were all crazy as hell. And I think Mary, King James' mother, they call her Bloody Mary. They were going to the mirror, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. That's her, because she was killing a lot of she was either killing a lot of Catholics or Protestants, so they called her Bloody Mary. And they say that she was also behind King James' father's death, because she got some new nigga, some new dude, and she plotted and had him killed. And she eventually got locked up. She got locked up eventually, whatever. It's like the Book of Kings, but in Dark Ages. It's
Dark
crazy.
Ages,
Like,
right,
mad
right.
conspiracies and betrayals and adulteries going on. It's crap. King James' family line is crazy, but he came out good.
Yep.
Because his I think his cousin or aunt Queen Elizabeth helped mentor him and kept him on the right track. Queen Elizabeth I, who's also black. J.A. Rogers has a book of her face in it. It's a black woman called Nature Knows Her Color Line. It shows her. All right, but I'm taking y'all somewhere else. I'm kind of leading into them, to be honest. But I'll get to that. That's later on the line. Giving you spoilers. Give me Romans 1:14. Deal with that barbarians. Romans 1:14. Romans 1:14.
the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 14. I am debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians.
I'm a debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, those who speak Greek and those who don't. Those who understand Greek and those who don't. Go ahead.
Both to the wise and to the unwise.
Meaning wise. What's the opposite of wise? Unwise. What's the opposite of a Greek speaker? A non-Greek speaker. A barbarian. A Berber. This is Israelites regardless. Go to Colossians 11. Read this before. We're going to read it again. Now, the barbarians are first mentioned in Acts 28, but I'm saving that. When the snake bit Paul's hand, those barbarians, I'm going to save that for a reason, because that goes back to Carthage also. So I'm going to that later. Bear with me. Colossians 3:11.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 11. Where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision.
These are opposites. Go ahead.
Barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Christ is all and in all.
So Paul is saying, regardless of what your title is, whether opposite or whatever, it's all the same people. So the Jew, the Greek, same people. Whether circumcised, uncircumcised, you're still the same people. Whether a barbarian or Scythian, you're the same people. Bond or free, your status, still the same people. Christ is all and in all. Despite your title, despite your situation, your status, he's all in the same people. That's what he's saying. The barbarians, Scythians are all Israelites, as I brought out many classes ago. So if you're unfamiliar with that, if you're just tuning in and you're already saying that's not true, shut your stupid mouth. Start from part 1 and work your way up to chapter 14. I'm not going backwards with you simple ass Negroes and you dumb ass white people on there watching. I ain't got time for y'all today. I'm on another level today. I'm on another level today with animosity when it comes to stupid ass comments on my comment board. Just be quiet and learn.
Yeah, y'all got to play catch up.
Yeah, let's play catch up. You know, like we have to do for the past 400 years. Play catch up. Just sit your ass down, be quiet. Now, let's get continue. Back to sex and race.
Yes, sir.
Page 89. Let's go to the bottom. Regarding the relation between Numidians, as you read earlier, and Carthaginians. Go over to page 80. Is that it right there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, read that, please.
The Numidians of classic antiquity were a Negro people.
The reason why he's saying a classic antiquity is because now they come off as Arabs. Most of those lands, the Maghreb or the Berber states, Barbary states, are Arab states now. They might call it the Maghreb. Bunch of Arabs. The Arabs are called Moors now, but the Moors of antiquity was us. The reason why Arabs are there is because the Arabs, along with the Portuguese, sold us in the slave trade and took our lands over and became us, like the white folks did. And have us enslaved while we're living there today. Because the slave trade taking place right now is, guess what? In the Maghreb. Tunisia, Algeria, Libya, where all Israel was.
Right.
So when the Portuguese came into power and the Moors fell, and we fled back into the Barbary states, the Arabs came along and the Portuguese joined together and started to enslave us and sell us all over the planet. You understand? The Arabs took us further east, and then the white men took us further west. You understand? That takes you to the trans-Saharan slave trade. That takes you to the Chinese slave trade, Japanese, Iranian, Iraqi. That's what that led to. So that's why you have Arabs talking about, I'm Numidian. No, you're not. The original Numidians of antiquity was our people.
Black.
Black. See it again?
The Numidians of classic antiquity were a Negro people.
Yeah.
Sir William Smith says that the word Mari, from which comes Mauritania, Morocco.
Because Morocco is or was called Mauritania. Morocco's new, but Morocco is Mauritania. Go ahead. But Morocco has a special meaning. The word Morocco does not go back to the word Moor. It goes to another term. I'll get to that later on. What Morocco actually means. Go ahead.
Means black, and adds these Moors must not be considered a different race from the Numidians, but as a tribe belonging to the same stock.
Right. So the Numidians were the same stock as what? As those of Mauritania, going back to the Moors, going back to Carthage, is the same place. Numidia is part of Carthage. Now, why am I going through so much trouble talking about Numidians and so forth? What is the purpose of this? Like I said, I take you around the block, just so that way no one's getting lost. So this is, like I said, it's a very advanced history portion of IUIC. So I try to make things simple. I noticed that when I take it a little slower and make it a bit more easy to understand, we get the views kind of increase.
Right.
Whereas when it's complicated, it's like, yeah, we ain't watching that. 2,000 views, that's it. So I'm trying to take y'all. If you're keeping up with the classes, if you're just watching this part for the first time, you're gonna be lost. So let's go to the clip I want. Let's go to what I want first. Give me Wikipedia first. Wikipedia, I want Gladiator film. The Gladiator film. All right? And I want you to go to cast. Now, this movie is excellent. This is a Russell Crowe, old movie, but a great one. It's about, basically it goes into, what is it? It's like a fact mixed with fiction. It goes pretty much into like a Septimius Severus type of thing, where he goes from a gladiator to a warrior, and his name is Maximus. That's the main character. His name is Maximus. And Marcus Aurelius, just to give you a history lesson real quick, Marcus Aurelius is the main king or Caesar of Rome at this time, who Maximus, the main character, is serving. Marcus Aurelius was the one who allowed Septimius Severus to gain status as a soldier because he was a gladiator at first. So Marcus Aurelius is kind of the one that pretty much motivated Septimius Severus to become a ruler or Caesar of Spain. And his son Commodus, okay? When you read in the book of Esdras, it talks about the 8 contrary feathers. All right? Will I go into that? I might. But Septimius Severus is who Marcus Aurelius is. Pretty much, he looked up to Marcus. I think he named one of his sons after Marcus Aurelius. So Maximus is loosely based upon Septimius Severus, who was from the same place that Hannibal was from, Libya, same Israel, both Israelites. And let's go down. So you have Joaquin Phoenix plays Commodus. That's a guy who played Joker. Let's go down to now you have a guy named Jimon Hansuo, right there. He plays a friend of Maximus when he becomes a gladiator. What's it say? His name is Juba. what is his nationality?
And the Midian tribesman who was taken from his home and family by slave traders.
Go ahead.
He becomes Maximus' closest ally and friend and inspires Maximus to bring down Commodus for the greater good before he joins his family in the afterlife.
Right, as he dies in the end. Sorry for the spoiler. But it says that Jamon Consuel's character was a Numidian. Now remember, the Numidians of antiquity were what? Negro. So they made sure to have this brother play a Numidian.
So it's a devil.
Right. You just gotta when you know history, man, you see history in a whole different light, like I said earlier. Let's watch a clip now. We're gonna go to
That's why John 8:32 say, "You shall know the truth."
and the true church that
shall
set you
make you
free.
free. Yep.
Get the movie clip Barbarian. No, I want that. No, I want Maximus is captured. I want Maximus is captured clip. We're gonna start at 128 and we're gonna stop at 38. So 128, 10 seconds. 128 to 38. That now, if you pause it here, his family, Commodus orders his family to be killed, and he ends up suffering from a wound, and he ends up being found unconscious, and they take him in the slave trade. So they don't know his status. He's a Roman soldier, but they don't know he's a Roman soldier, so they take him as a slave. They call him the Spaniard. Okay, they call him the Spaniard.
And Dick, had he been white, would they know that he was a slave?
Right, they wouldn't. Right,
If
exactly.
he was a real Roman,
They would've known.
They would have known.
Right,
They
but
would
they
have
had-
taken him as slave.
Right, so they made certain to use, right, exactly.
You know?
So let's start at 128, and we're gonna stop at 38. Then we're gonna start again at 320 to 45. So at this point, he's being carried as a slave with all the other slaves. You see the Arab right there, the Arab? They made sure it's the Arab.
Right.
But they lie on this part. On the
Right. One thing I've noticed about history, man, I've noticed is that Ishmael always involved himself in slave trading, man. Even Joseph. Yeah, man, Arabs had him as a slave. Arabs took him as a slave. Ishmael had a thing with slavery, man. I don't know what's up with Ishmael, man. When the kingdom is established, we're gonna have some fun with y'all. Because y'all love slavery, man. You're gonna experience it too. Because y'all always involved in it. That's why you brothers in Islam. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So anyway, this is an Arab here. Okay, they came across Maximus. They found Maximus, like they found Joseph, very similar, and took him as a slave. Watch. Can they hear and see? Make sure they can hear and see. I want no complaints about it. We can't hear and see nothing. No damn confusion. Let me know. I want to hear it too.
They're not going to shut it down?
You download it, we'll see. It's only 10 seconds.
Don't die.
That's Juba.
They'll feed you to the lions. They're worth more than we are.
That's it. So he said, don't die. They'll feed you to the lions. They're worth more than we are because we're slaves. The lion, the animals are worth more than us. Sound familiar? That damn slavery. Then we're going to jump to 320 to 45 seconds. So this is another guy. He's a former gladiator, and he's a gladiator. He's like a Don King pretty much of the gladiators. So the Arab brings these slaves to him to buy them from him. So now he has to examine his merchandise because he earned his freedom as a gladiator. He's free now. Now he's involved in the business of gladiators. Okay, so watch this. And they made sure he's kind of dark himself too. He's Esau, but they made sure he's dark. Very slick, very cunning Esau, very cunning with his casting. Press play, you got it? 320 to 45 seconds.
I got a match coming up.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying. You need both, I think.
Get up.
There goes Juba.
What's a trade?
I was a hunter.
No, no.
Pause. What's your trade? He said, I was a hunter. You can tell by his hands. What's your trade? I was a hunter. Rewind it back some. A little bit. Right there is good. Watch what he says he's got him from.
I was a hunter.
No, no. I bought him from a salt mine in Carthage.
Stop.
Salt
I got him from a
mine.
salt mine in Carthage. Where was John Revelator put in? A salt mine in Patmos.
Yep.
So when Hannibal and them lost the war to the Romans, they established salt mines in Carthage and brought us as slaves there. In 70 AD, they brought many Jews over to that area to work the salt mines. It was a plantation. So he came from Carthage, this man. This Numidian came from Carthage, working the salt mines as a slave. Prior to that, he was a hunter with a family. He was taken from and put to the salt mines.
Hey, Deke, man, Esau throw these things inside the movies to see if our people are awake. Can they pick these things up that they're putting in, to see the intelligence? How far have we come?
Right. Right.
But as you can see, we've come pretty far.
Yeah, absolutely.
All praise to the Most High for
All
that.
praise the Lord, right?
All praises.
When y'all brothers get a chance, right, look up whitewash in Webster dictionary. Whitewash in the Webster dictionary. Real quick, just to show you, when you're gonna go down, there's a few different explanations, and what this information empowers you is to depict and dig in sometimes. Whatever Esau give you, you know he's not gonna give you the source. But in this particular flick, it wouldn't be to use the proper characters.
Right.
They had to use the proper characters for their message to go across. And they use the language that was so, but we don't know how to depict wrong from right. Go down to 4. That's 3, 4, right here. All right. So the definition of whitewash: to portray the past in a way that increase the prominence, relevance, or impact of white people and minimize the misrepresent that of non-white people. So when they whitewash, they understand who they want to decrease our factors in this prominent history.
Wow.
And they get increased as long as we keep seeing their image.
Right.
And this is what we're saying now. By you understanding this history and putting yourself in these places, sometimes you could depict the garbage and say, okay, this is us.
Right.
Because till this day, from when they were whitewashing the images in the iconoclasm, whitewash from that day till today, like Officer just said, in the movies is the same whitewash going on.
Blow it up some so we can see it more. I want to see it more. Blow it up. Give it everything else. That one was 4. To alter, go back to 4. To alter something in a way that favors, features, or caters to white people.
Dang.
Such as to portray in the past in a way that increases the prominence, relevance, or impact of white people and minimizes or misrepresents that of non-white people. That's passion of the Christ.
Yep.
That's the white image of Christ.
That's everything.
That's every damn thing. Spartacus, 300, Robin Hood, King Arthur,
Hannibal,
everybody,
Troy, all that's freaking black people. Yep. All of it's black people, all of it. So when you hear dumb, ignorant Negroes say things like, color don't matter, you need to die yesterday, man.
That's true.
You need to just die just take a shot glass and some bleach and this so you finished, man.
End it.
So you done. End it all. Because you stupid as hell.
Scroll up. Boom, right there, Dig B.
To alter an original story by casting a white performer in a role based on a non-white person or fictional character.
And that's what Officer LaQuack said earlier. That's why we call them actors.
Right.
Actors, yeah.
They can only take our story and act in our places to confuse the mass.
And like you said before, they do that to boost themselves up in a light that wasn't them.
Not just them, but their children and their children's children. That's why they have the Karens. They're prideful. They're arrogant. White folks carry themselves in a way, and it's almost like it's natural. They carry themselves in such a way where they feel entitled.
Right.
They feel, and they're privileged because they're born and raised in that privilege. You turn your TV on, all you see is you. You look the billboards, all you see is you. Right, you watch a movie, all you see is you. You watching about a commercial on gum, you. A commercial on diapers, you. Baby food, you. Toilet paper, you. Movies is you. Superheroes is you. Of course you're going to feel entitled. You're going to feel powerful. But if you're in a movie where you see yourself as, yeah, nigga, where my money at? Yo, yeah, bop, bop.
That's you.
That's you. That's
Yep.
it. You're going to look at yourself as that.
Right.
Reverse
So
psychology.
you're gonna see. So you're gonna see yourself. Then we put an image of the Messiah, a depiction of the Messiah as a black man. No images, brother. No images.
Right.
You Negroes are stupid, man. You simple as hell. Color don't matter. If color don't matter, why are black folks happy about Kamala Harris? Why?
Yep.
What makes them so happy about? What makes Kamala Harris so special if color don't matter? Huh?
Right.
What made Obama so special? Huh? Because of his executive orders he passed, his political campaigns? Name some. Hell, let me help you. Name some that helped black folks. Fill in the blank. Obama passed a law that helped black folks buy blank. Fill it in. Fill it in.
Push them to be more.
Y'all are simple as hell, man. It's just the simplicity. The simplicity, man, is unheard of.
Hey, Deacon, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Can you read 1 Maccabees 3:48?
Right. Let's get
go,
that.
right?
That's what this is. We're gonna read whitewashing in the Bible. Thank you. 1 Maccabees 3:48.
Because they know that color matters.
They
That's
do.
why they say, okay, we're gonna start with the Bible, erase the so-called Negroes, their history from the Bible. We're gonna put us up there. Read that.
And then we bring out the truth that Christ is black. Hate.
Yep.
You hate us.
Right.
You want to kill us.
Exactly.
All we say is the truth.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48.
Yes, sir.
And laid open the book of the law,
So we know the book of the law is the Bible. Go ahead.
wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
The nations sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Right.
So they know that color matters. So why did they know that color matters? Because they see the book of the Bible. They said, look, we're going to paint our image as Christ. We're going to paint our image as Peter, Paul, the apostle. They sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Right.
They just tell our people that color doesn't matter. But they damn sure know color matters because who they always rooting for now? Trump.
Right.
Trump, because they know color matters. Throughout last point, you see like the monuments. This like Deacon say, it strengthens their children. We had them Negroes in slavery. Look, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, so forth and so forth. That brings that pride level up even more.
Right. And just to further the point, what I'm touching on right now, and some of y'all may not be aware, what we're touching on is the beginning of the Dark Ages.
Right.
That's what's happening. This is the grassroots of the Dark Ages. And Israel gained dominion in these areas of Europe and so forth. We were already there based upon what we're going over now. So I want to share something real quick. Elon Musk, you have that video where he mentions the Dark Ages? Let me give you an example of just how deep this rabbit hole goes regarding whitewashing. Now, the Dark Ages. Elon Musk, I showed y'all this before. Y'all saw this, right? You know what I'm talking about. I think it's let me see what video it is. I think it's the second one. Let me look at it. I got to see the title to know what it is.
Yeah, just if you can't find it, just type it in. Elon Musk, Dark Ages.
Yeah, it might pop up. We're going to see what he says regarding what will take place after World War III. Because Elon Musk is the genius mind of today. He is the Tony Stark of today. He's the one that's behind the space force, behind the new technological advancements of nuclear weapons and interplanetary space travel, which he plans on trying to get built and finished by mid next year to leave the Earth because of an imminent destruction he believes is coming to this planet, and the safest place to survive it is not on the planet. I don't want the I don't want the website. I want the YouTube video. This is good too, but I want the YouTube video. Just type in Elon Musk World War III. That should be it. It should be two of them. They're both short clips. Elon Musk World War III. I don't know which one. I think it's a gray background.
I'm about to send it to him now.
You have it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You guys are going to get it right now. Hold on. All right. To show you that these people, this man studies. This man been reading books since he was 12 years old. With the books that we have up here, he had already.
Right.
His parents said, listen, he read this, he read that, and he understood that eventually things tend to reverse back the way it originally was. He understood that. You peon heathens that are on the tournament boards And you simple-minded Negroes don't understand that things that are turned upside down eventually return right side up again.
That's right.
And also, Dig, Officer LaQuack and I was reasoning on this earlier. Our oppressors, the books that they have, they hand it down to their children as gifts, as something precious. The information that's in here is only for you, so you could pass it down to your children. And we haven't developed that the system within us. Within the Israelite community, we gotta, like, one of my favorite gifts to give people is a Bible. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that's the greatest gift you can give to somebody.
Right. And here's the irony, officer. The books that these white folks give down to their kids, sometimes the kids don't care about that stuff.
Right.
And they sell the books. And you know what ends up getting the books?
Bring it out, Deke.
We do. We get them.
Praises. That's the most.
We have them now.
It's a new day and age
we
now.
get them.
That's right.
And
We get them.
And Dick, that's what I was telling them. I bought a book, and it was endorsed as a gift from so and so to somebody else.
Yes.
As a gift, enjoy this from your auntie or uncle. It's a good read.
And you'll see them highlighting it,
Yeah.
underlining
Yep.
things,
And
circling the
pencil.
pages, pencil it in. I had the books. It's circled in. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Thanks. I circled it. I'm gonna save it. Write that down.
And Dick, in that same book, it was a Jewish encyclopedia.
Wow.
That's the same book that shows you that Christopher Columbus identified this land as
Osirith.
Osirith.
Wow. There you go.
So it shows you that the like I was telling the officer was talking, the Yeshiva University don't have no Negroes, no Latinos, no Chinese. It's only strictly Jewish kids
Right.
in those schools.
Right.
And they're the one that read those books. So they know, be like, you want to maintain that superiority, you make sure these books never get to these people.
Right.
Right.
Don't tell the goyim.
Don't tell the goyim. Right. Don't tell the goy. Play that. Hope this is it.
That's it, Deke.
To the things that I believe in, like extending life beyond Earth, making life multiplanetary. I'm a big believer in sort of Asimov's Foundation series, or the principle that you really want to, I recommend reading the Foundation series, but it's like if you know that there's likely to be, we don't know, but there's likely to be another Dark Ages, which it seems, my guess is there probably will be at some point.
Pause. Another Dark Ages. You don't know. You're not sure. He does know.
Yeah. 'cause
That's hip talk. He knows.
He corrected himself. He said, we know. We don't know.
Right. You know.
He said the truth first.
Right.
We know there's going to be another one
Dark
coming
Ages.
in.
Another
Dark Age.
Dark Ages. But watch what he says when there'll be another Dark Ages. Continue.
I'm not predicting that we're about to enter Dark Ages, but that there's some probability that we will, particularly if there's a Third World War.
Pause.
See, I'm not-
After
I'm not-
World War III, there will be another Dark Ages
Age.
when Negroes are ruling the planet of the apes. That's what that is.
Yep.
That whole movie based upon that.
Yep.
Niggas ruin the world, a black planet. That's why he said we're gonna leave here. Because we know if World War III pop off, we gotta go.
Yep.
We don't rule no more.
Yep.
They know. He knows. Y'all think we crazy niggas in the street? Oh, they're a cult. They hate people. Listen, these white folks, they look at you like you stupid. They know. He's talking to us. He ain't talking to you regular niggas or you dumbass heathens. He's talking to those who have sense.
Right.
Those who read and study and know things. He's talking to them. He ain't talking to you.
And
We're, the Most High told us to talk to you. To be honest, I don't want to, because some of y'all don't care anyway.
Right.
But the Lord says we have to, so we have to. But at the end of the day, this man is telling you that there will undeniably, inevitably, and imminently, if that's the word, I believe imminently is the word.
Right.
There will be a Dark Ages, and it will take place after World War III.
Deacon,
That's what Revelation says. After the first woe, second woe, the third woe, it's a wrap. They know this. He knows this. And guess who he's talking to? The other elites like him. He don't have regular dumb Caucasian friends on the side that's just don't know anything. He has conversations with councils.
Right.
You have secret organizations, dark secret governments that's talking to this man. Because they know, advisors, because they know what's going to happen. Y'all confused. We know what's going on. Y'all confused. Continue, please.
Then we want to make sure that there's enough of a seed of human civilization.
Pause. That seed is not talking about you simple black and Hispanics. He's referring to his own kind, not you.
Because you won't be able to afford that flight.
You are not. You're not going to afford that. That's not. He's not talking to. We must preserve ourselves because they know, according to Isaiah, they got to get wiped out. They got to go. Continue.
To bring civilization back, and perhaps shorten the length of the Dark Ages.
Pause. What does that mean? That means that when we escape and we go and we bring ourselves back, we're going to come back and fight against the Dark Ages. That's what he's saying. We're going to come back, replenish ourselves, leave Mars, come back to Earth, and fight for the Earth back again out of the hands of the dark people. That's what he's saying.
And Dick, I got bad news for him. This time, Christ is going to be on the scene.
Right.
He's going to rule. So you're definitely coming back down to get your punishment.
We're going to come for you. In no spacesuits. We're going to come for you. Red people for the red planet, we're going to come for y'all. And that's going to be our planet.
And Diggin, he said the human civilization. Remember, you Negroes not considered human here.
No, you're not. He ain't talking about you. Continue.
Dick, if I may, before you continue.
Yeah.
Can we read that? He read that. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9.
Read
Read
that.
that real quick. This is one thing he knows. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9.
You guys are pushing hate. You're pushing racism. Listen, when y'all say those things, it's laughable to me. Because that shows what intellect that we're on and where you're on. You're a peon. You're like trash, trailer trash. 6 to 9.
2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Dark ages. Another dark ages. That's what he's saying. That's in the Bible.
Bring it out.
Look at his face, man.
He's serious. He ain't smiling. He's
no
not
joke.
smirking. And another video we have where he's telling people in public saying World War III. Audience is like, ha, 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 ha. He's like,
right.
Yeah, so nukes, bombs, we got to escape it. Everyone's like, ha, 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 ha. He's like, yeah, okay. So-and-so. He's not smiling at all. He's dead serious.
Dead serious.
That's a face of resolve. That's a face of focus.
Like, we got to get the hell out of here.
We got to get up out of here.
He probably saw the vision.
It's time to go.
And that very action is fulfilling our prophecy.
Yes, it is. Habakkuk 2:9.
Yep. It's fulfilling our prophecy that he will try to escape this.
Yeah, we're going to get there right now. You Negroes, you're pushing hate. You're pushing hate.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness.
Did they not do that? Cover an evil covetousness, stealing our identity, taking our land, teaching us lies, stealing our lands, plural. Both promised lands were stolen, Israel and America's, and taking our identity also. Whitewashing, wanting to be our God, wanting to be our Messiah, wanting to be our angels, wanting to be our God. Ain't that what they did? Read it again.
Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness.
Stealing lands and people and places. Go ahead.
To his house.
He added it to his house. Now it's mine now. Your people are my people now. They're my slaves now. Go ahead.
That he may set his nest on high.
Ain't that what he did? Space Force, going to Mars, on to the moon, trying to go to Russia trying to go to Venus. Set his nest on high. The Bible's a true book.
That's right.
The Negro isn't. The Negro is an idiot. He's a false book. He's a fairy tale book. The Bible's a true book. Read it again.
Woe to him.
No, I was saying like Dick Yawasov said.
Right.
Was made in America.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's right.
He was reinforced in America. Read again.
Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high.
Was that's on high to do what?
That he may be delivered from the power of evil.
What's the power of evil? The Lord's day.
That's it.
The Lord's day of return. That's the day of evil. Not evil for us, evil for him. So y'all continue to mock and make your little cute little comments in the comment board. You guys are racist and your interpretation. Okay, let it be our interpretation. When you get that broadcast on your TV, hello, this is an emergency. I repeat, this is an emergency. Please report to your nearest bomb shelter in an orderly fashion. When you hear that, let's see how much racism we are then.
That's what you're gonna hear.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that.
That's it.
Since y'all don't believe us, there you go, hearing it from Esau himself.
Right.
Yep.
That's all I want. I need nothing more. Thank you, Elon. We appreciate you. Thank you. We're gonna find you though, regardless where you go. We're gonna find you. Give me Daniel 7:1 now. Now, keep in mind, I'm gonna go over it. I'm probably gonna skim it though, real fast. Keep in mind, I mentioned Marcus Aurelius. If you watch Gladiator, you know who that is. Marcus Aurelius was a Caesar, and Commodus was his son. Commodus is the one who killed Maximus's family in the movie, and he pretty much got sold into slavery as a result of Commodus ordering the murder of his family, his son, his wife and son. Daniel 7 verse 1.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea.
Verse 3.
Verse 3. And four great beasts came up from the sea.
That's Mediterranean Sea. Go ahead.
Diverse one from another. The first was like a lion.
That's Babylon. Go ahead.
And had eagle's wings.
Because he traveled and conquered. Go ahead.
I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked.
How many wings the eagle has? He has 2 wings. 1 pair of wings. And then when the wings are eventually plucked, he stopped traveling and conquering. Go ahead.
And it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man.
Because it gained the wisdom of Daniel as their counselor. Eventually, Daniel's wisdom was given to it. Go ahead.
And a man's heart was given to it.
Daniel's. Go ahead.
And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear.
The second, this was a bear, this beast. Go ahead.
And it raised up itself on one side.
Because there was a dual empire, Medo-Persian Empire. The Persian side was the stronger side, so it leaned more on the Persian side than the Medo side, than the Median side, Medo-Persian side. Go ahead.
And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it.
Ethiopia, the Sabians, and the Egyptians, they had as in their mouth under dominion, under their dominion. Go ahead.
Between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh.
And conquer. They conquered a lot of people, the Persians. Go ahead.
After this I beheld,
including us, the Spartans. Go ahead.
After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
He had more than 2. He had 2 pairs of wings because he traveled further and conquered more than Babylon did. Go ahead. He had 4 wings. Go ahead.
The beast had
leopard because he was fast and swift. He conquered fast. Go ahead.
The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
So he had leopard. This leopard had 4 heads. So he had 4 leopard heads and 4 wings. Go ahead.
After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts and that were before it. And it had 10 horns.
Now Daniel doesn't give the animal attribute of this beast, but Ezra reveals it to us. It was an eagle. This is an eagle. That's the image. That's the animal attribute of this beast, the eagle of Rome, which eventually extends into Spain, which eventually extends into Portugal, Britain, Russia, and eventually into America. All the same race of people. Go ahead. The eagle.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Spain, France, and Britain. Those are the 3 horns plucked up by the roots. Go ahead.
And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Blasphemies, great blasphemies, coveting an evil covetousness. Habakkuk 2:9. Go ahead.
Verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
I'm sorry, all I wanted was verse 7. That's all I want. So the little horn is referring to America. You had scholars say, it's referring to Antiochus. How is it? Antiochus came out of the Greeks. This horn came out of Rome. Antiochus didn't come out of Rome, so you can't use that. This is not Antiochus or Antiochus. This is referring to America, which extends out of Rome. The 10 horns come out of there. Now, let's go to Nelson's Bible Maps and Charts. This is a book. I use this. I used to use this all the time. I used to use this book all the time. It's called Nelson's Bible Maps and Charts. I used it. I used to have Monday night class. When I had Monday night classes, I would use this book all the time. So I don't mind giving this away. It's called The Complete Book of Bible Maps and Charts, Old and New Testaments. Nelson's Complete Book of Bible Maps and Charts. I want pages, no, I want 236 and 37. I forgot why I want these pages. I put this class together like months ago. So I'm learning right along with y'all. That's why I wrote it down. So I'm surprised as much as you when I read it. Is there any pencil markings anywhere? Let me go. Let me
I see the bottom here.
Let me go there. Hold on. Let me go there. Let me go and see why I got this here in the first place.
I see Daniel 2 and 7 at the bottom.
Yeah, there's a reason why I have this book. It's a very good book. I use it for the captivities. It gives you the time frame of captivities. Very good timeline. Pretty accurate, I would say. Hold on. Hold on a second. Yeah, let's read although it is claimed. No, read the argument that predictive. The argument that predictive prophecy.
Right. Right there. The argument that predictive prophecy is impossible, and therefore that the sequence of empires depicted in chapters 7 and 8 was written during the 2nd century BC. Period of Greek domination.
So here's the argument. The argument was that this was written when Daniel 7 was written during the time of the Greeks, because they're trying to negate the fact that Daniel wrote about the Greeks before they existed. So they're saying, oh, when this was written, it was written during the time when Babylon and Persia already ruled. So they're trying to rule out the prophetic validity of Daniel 7 and 8.
Right.
So watch what the author does here. He's going to say that predictive prophecy is impossible. What's that mean? There's no God. That's what they're saying. This is the argument between scholars and secular scholars, those who believe in the Bible, those who don't. Watch.
Was written during the 2nd century BC, period of Greek domination, involves a dogmatic rejection of the supernatural.
Dogmatic means a God, against God. Dogmatic rejection of the supernatural. Go ahead.
Furthermore, this argument for a 2nd century date assumes that the 4 empire nations depicted are Babylonia, Media, Persia, and Greece.
Correct. Go ahead.
It is apparent, however, that Daniel speaks of a combined Medo-Persian empire.
Right, because one arm lying on the other. Remember that? The dual empire, Daniel 7. It's a dual empire, Medo-Persia. Go ahead.
528. And that the description of the 4th empire fits Rome.
It is Rome. Go ahead.
Which achieved dominance long after the alleged 2nd century BC date of writing rather than Greece.
Right. Go ahead. So even if you were to say it was written during the time of the Greeks, how do you know about Rome?
Right.
How do you know?
Right.
So you still can't rule it out, but watch. Continue.
Although it is claimed that the Aramaic portion of Daniel, chapters 2 to 7, is late Aramaic.
It's late Aramaic, meaning around the time of the Greeks' time. Go ahead.
Recent studies have shown that Daniel's Aramaic is actually an example of early imperial Aramaic.
His Aramaic, he wrote the Bible in Daniel and was in imperial, meaning royal Aramaic, because he was a prince. Daniel came from a line of kings. These is Hezekiah's children, his seed. So he came from a princely nobility. So he spoke in imperial Aramaic. Watch this. A form consistent
with a 6th century BC date.
A form consistent with a Babylonian time frame, not Greek. See? So when he wrote Daniel, he wrote in a language in which it existed during the time of Babylon, when it was written, when he was in captivity, not Greek time. Go ahead.
In addition, the presence of fragments of the text of Daniel among the Dead Sea Scrolls, fragments which apparently date to the Maccabean period, does not allow sufficient time for a work supposedly written in the Maccabean period to have become widely accepted as scripture.
There's not enough time to say, okay, he wrote it during the time of the Greeks and it was accepted as scripture. That's too short of a time. It would have had to been written earlier on to be accepted as scripture. So it had to be written at an earlier date.
Correct.
That's what they're saying. So it had to have been written at an earlier date to be accepted as scripture. If it was written at the time of the Greeks, it wouldn't have been valid. It had no time. It wouldn't have no time to be valid. Go ahead.
Prophecy.
Right. So it's prophecy. Go ahead.
Though some argue that there are historical errors in Daniel,
No, there isn't. Go ahead.
and that these errors argue for a late date.
No, you don't.
Recent evidence has demonstrated the historical accuracy of Daniel.
Meaning it's a lie. It's accurate. Everything is in Daniel is accurate. That's why I had this written down. Now I remember now. Go ahead.
While some questions remain, none pose an irresuperable difficulty for a 6th century BC date.
Nothing. No one can negate the fact that it was written during the time of Babylon. None. It's irrefutable. So it is prophetic. It was written during the time of Babylon, and therefore it is possible for prophetic, predictive prophecy. It's possible.
Esau said, no way.
They trying to. They couldn't fight it. Said, nah, nope. We lost. He's right. It's accurate. Now.
You see in the bottom, the next one?
What's in the bottom? Read the bottom.
Daniel, the Apocalypse.
Daniel.
The Old Testament.
Oh, wow. We read that.
Daniel, the Apocalypse of the Old Testament presents a surprisingly comprehensive sweep of prophetic history. After an introductory chapter in Hebrew, Daniel switches to the Aramaic language in chapters 2 to 7 to describe the future course of the Gentile world powers.
Wow.
So he switched the languages
Yup.
to make it more
Understandable,
Within
right.
each captivity.
Correct. Isaiah,
Genius,
Isaiah
man.
said
Isaiah
it.
also.
Yeah, Isaiah said with a different tongue, shall I speak to these people? Right.
Yeah.
And continue reading.
Keep going.
Daniel reverts to Hebrew to survey the future of the Jewish nation under Gentile domination.
Oh, man. Under our captivity.
Go ahead.
The theme of God's sovereign control in the affairs of world history clearly emerges and provides comfort to the future church,
Us.
Yep.
as well as to the Jews whose nation was destroyed by the Babylonians.
Damn.
The Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, and Romans will come and go.
That's what the Daniel says, right?
Yep.
But God will establish his kingdom through his redeemed people forever.
Damn.
And for those of you that want to know what's going to happen to the white man, there you go.
He knows what's going to happen to him.
The saint shall take the kingdom.
That's
Right.
it.
That's what it's saying.
It ain't no hate campaign. It's prophetic scriptures that Esau never wanted us to know about. They don't want us to speak these things. And,
To bring it to fruition.
exactly. And this is the preeminence we should hold on to.
Right.
We should not be afraid to speak of these things boldly in these latter days.
Right. So this is, again, Nelson's complete book of Bible maps and charts. It might cost $1,000 by the end of the night. Sorry. Nelson's complete book of Bible maps and charts includes reproducible maps and charts, Old and New Testaments. It's blue cover. Look for this. Copy it yourself. Read it and weep. You lying heathen bastards you are watching too. Enjoy it.
I remember Deke. I remember you used this book a while back to show that the Persian Empire was 400 years leading up to Christ. He had the exact. He had the exact.
We can read that.
Date.
All praises. All
that.
praises.
Yeah.
That's referring to Ezra.
Right. Yeah. Referring to Ezra. Yes, sir.
That's referring to Ezra. We can get that.
Was it? I think it was in that class.
I gotta.
Working with the
Y'all got to
Tribes.
talk. I gotta find it.
Yeah. Right. So because it was going back to Second Esdras, I think chapter 9.
I'm gonna get it. Let's gotta find it.
While you find it, D, can we read that last paragraph of the themes?
Yes, sir. Another theme of this book is the emphasis on separation to God.
Stop. And this is what Negroes today don't want to do. Come out of her, my people. Separate yourself from this modern day Babylonian system, because we're in our captivity. All right, read on.
Another theme of this book is the emphasis on separation to God, with Daniel as the ultimate example.
Read.
From his decision not to eat the king's food in Daniel chapter 1, verse 8 to 16, to his refusal to pray to the king. Chapter 6, verses 4 to 24. Daniel displays such an uncompromising spirit that spectacular opportunities were open for God to display his power on Daniel's behalf.
And this is what God want to do with us. He want to display his power within our behalf right now. Us waking up and standing up for the truth and bringing back our heritage and displaying it God will speak on our behalf.
Right.
Yep.
This page, I didn't copy this one.
You need to take.
Jez, you ain't right, man. They gotta take a screenshot of it.
Oh,
I mean-
you talking about of this page?
Yeah, 161 here.
So we could let them do that as
do
we.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to real quick. Let's go to
I'm sorry, D.
second. Let's read second Ezra. Let's just get
Yep.
it in the meantime, and let's see if it coincides with this. It's in second Ezra. It's chapter 7, I think, right?
I'm looking at 8 or 9.
it's
It may be 7. Yes, sir. 7:28.
Yeah, 7 and verse 28. We're gonna read verse 28 to 29.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 28. For my son Jesus shall be revealed with those that be with him.
There you go. He's mentioning the Apocrypha. My son Jesus shall what?
For my son Jesus shall be revealed with those that be with
The
him.
disciples. Go ahead.
And they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years.
And those that remain, those who are remain during his time, shall rejoice within 400 years. Why shall they rejoice? Because Christ is going to be born. Now, Ezra is during the time of what captivity? Persian. So he said within 400 years' time, after you, the Lord going to show up. And those that remain are going to rejoice because they're going to be there with him 400 years from now, right? So now, y'all got it? Read verse 29.
Verse 29. After these years shall my son Christ die, and all men that have life.
So after those years, after those 400 years, when Rome comes up, he's going to be killed. And those who follow after him are going to be killed also. The disciples get killed also.
And you got it? And there it is.
All I want is 161. That's it. Hey, pass it back.
bring the book back.
Thank you. Because I'll forget it.
Don't get too comfortable with it.
Now, read verse 28 again.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 28.
Uh-huh.
For my son Jesus shall be revealed with those that be with him.
Uh-huh.
And they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years.
Within 400 years from this time of Ezra, Persian captivity, because after 400 years of Persia, Rome took over. Rome came up 400 years later. Watch this. Read this book now.
Themes and literary structure. The book of Nehemiah completes the historical account of God's people in the Old Testament.
Watch this.
About 400 years before the birth of the promised Messiah.
See?
400 years.
400 years.
Damn.
Ain't that what Ezra said?
Yep. Yep.
So listen, front if you want to. Bible's a true book. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
And Dig, check this out. What other book does what the Bible do?
None. Nothing.
There's no other book on the face of the earth that give you a timeline of prophetic events
Nope.
that are to take place. And then now you have scholars recording and tracking these things. Yo, they did happen.
Yeah.
You have those that's going to argue against it because they the devil the Bible speak of. That's the only reason, but it's fact. It's clear.
And they're going to die too, so that's okay.
The Bible cannot be mated with no other book.
That's it.
Give me Esdras real quick. I mentioned about Maximus and Commodus.
That's why you filter everything through the Bible.
Right, as I said before. Hold on. Contrary feathers. Hold on.
Chapter 12D.
Yeah, 11 verse 3 and 11:11. That's some weird sounds going on here.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 11, verse 3.
Got robots over there. What's going on? Transformers over there? 11 and 3.
And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew another contrary feathers, and they became little feathers.
No, read verse 1.
Verse 1.
This is the fourth beast.
2nd Ezra, chapter 11, verse 1. Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads.
That's the beast that Daniel saw in Daniel 7, verse 7. The fourth beast. He didn't give it the animal attribute. Ezra is. It's the eagle. Go ahead.
And I saw and beheld, she spread her wings over all the earth.
Because she had the whole earth under her dominion, including the other side of the world. Go ahead.
And all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together.
Right, when she became America, she took this side of the world over. Go ahead.
And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew I'm sorry, and I beheld, and out of her feathers,
Out of those 12 feathers, go ahead.
there grew other contrary feathers, and they became little feathers and small.
Now, jump to verse 11.
Verse,
Contrary feathers. How many of them were there? Watch.
verse 11.
The contrary feathers. Watch this.
And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them.
There were 8 of them. What were the 8 contrary feathers? I'm going to go and take it slow with y'all. I'm going to give you the 8. The 8 contrary feathers. Number 1 was Nervo. The 12 feathers was the 12 Caesars.
Yeah.
You had Julius Caesar's 1, Augustus Caesar's 2, Tiberius Caesar's 3, Caligula is 4, Claudius Caesar's 5, Nero is 6, Galba is 7, Otho is 8, Vitellius is 9, Vespasian is 10, Titus is 11, and Domitian is 12. That's who plays John the Revelator in the island of Patmos, Domitian, that bastard. The 8 contrary feathers would be Nervo, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, Marcus Aurelius. That's in the movie Gladiator.
Right.
Lucius Verus, Commodus, Marcus Aurelius' son, and Pertinax and Didius Julianus, who were taken out. Those 2 ruled at the same time, and Septimius Severus took them both out and became the first black Caesar of Rome, make it the Holy Roman Empire.
I think you went a little too fast. You know.
I'm going to go back again to the 12.
Yeah.
Go back to the 12.
The 8.
Oh, damn.
Listen, y'all gonna have to
Hey,
rewind
man.
this, right?
Yeah, this is wind it, man. We're losing time.
I mean, the 12 is okay.
You got the
It's
12?
12 Caesars. The 8.
All right, the 8. You got
You can get it afterwards, man.
8. You got Nerva.
I'm writing down it's slow, but I know people.
Yeah, you got Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, Marcus Aurelius, Lucius Verus, Commodus is 7, and you had 2 jointly opposing Caesars fighting each other, which was Pertinax and Didius Julianus, who were taken out by Septimius Severus at the same time in 193 AD. Those are the 8. Those 2 count as the 8. All right? Those are the 8 contrary feathers. That's the movie Maximus. Commodus, he's one of the 8 contrary. Marcus Aurelius is one of the 8 contrary feathers. That's in the Bible. Esdras. Believe it or not, I don't care. You'll just die here, like Elon Musk is saying. Now, let's go back to, so the reason why I went to that is because, again, the Roman Empire was the enemy of the Carthaginian Empire, and they conquered Hannibal. That's why I'm going into this history about Rome. I kind of sidebar. I wasn't part of my class, but I'll give you those little gems. Enjoy.
Much needed, Deke.
Right.
Much needed.
Let's get the book, history, the image of the map. I want that map. Remember, this class is entitled The Decline of Carthage and Their Travels. Now, this map here, let me look at it also with you. Hold on. You see
Blow it up.
Europe and the Atlantic Ocean. I want you to move it over. Move it over. Yep, bring it down. You see Spain in its entirety. I don't care about Europe. Bring it down to Spain. There we go. Right there. Blow that up some. Make it a little bit bigger if you can. No, that's too big. Damn. Right there. Mm-hmm. It says part of Spain. Iberia of the Phoenicians. Part of Spain. Iberia of the Phoenicians. That's us. We had part of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
This is an old map. This book is worth what? $1,600?
Yes, sir. $1,600.
I said, for a map? Yeah. Let me Google this real quick for free. I can't afford that right now. But we will get it. Or with the donations, we can get it faster. With the donations, we'll get it.
That's right. And this is the inheritance that we're trying to tell them.
Right.
We need that to pass it down.
Right.
We need it.
Move it over here where the word Spain comes from. Move it over. We named it Spain. Move it right there. Blow it up. Move those words right there. Those words, blow it up. It says what? Spania, Spanija, or Shafan. That's Hebrew. Shafan or Spain or Rabbit. because the land was flooded with rabbits, a whole bunch of rabbits. So we named it. We got over it. We called it Rabbit. Spain. We named it Spain. So where does Iberia come from? Where that word come from? Of the Iberia of the Phoenicians, or Carthaginians, or Hispania Ulterior. That goes back to Spania, meaning rabbits. We named it that. Now, let's get universal history. What I want. Universal history. I want page 458. Page 458. And we're going to start at but, and we're going to end at notion, then start somewhere else. Hold on. This is a very old book, very old.
Right there.
I got to turn the pages slowly if I don't rip the pages. Dang. We're going to start at where it says, but it appears. Wait. Do I want to start there? But and that notion.
Right?
Yeah, notwithstanding, yes.
But notwithstanding what is here advanced, we apprehend that the true and proper Iberia was originally only that part of Spain called Celtiberia.
Whoa, wait. Only a part of Spain was called Celt, Iberia. Remember I said to y'all before? Remember that Celt?
Yep.
Remember the Celts or Celts? So only a part was called Celt or Celt Iberia. That part. Go ahead.
From a body of Celts settling in it.
Oh, a body of Celts settling in Spain. But it said earlier, Iberia of the Phoenicians. So what were the Celts? They were our Israelites of Carthage, called Phoenicians. Continue.
Bounded by the Iberis.
Bounded by the Iberis. Go ahead.
The Pyrenees and the Mediterranean, which, if we admit, it is no wonder that the Phoenicians gave it the name of Iberia.
Stop. The Phoenicians gave the name of the land Iberia. What does Iberia mean? Continue to read.
For the Hebrew Eber.
Oh, so it's the Hebrew Peninsula. The Hebrew Peninsula. Eber's Peninsula, where the Hebrews dwell. That's what it means. That's what it means. That's who the Celts were. Well, you had 3 Celts, but the ones that dominated at this time was us. These are the Celts.
We were the majority.
The majority. Go ahead.
Eber, as well as the Chaldee, Syriac or Phoenician, Ebra or Ibra, in the singular numbers signifies as a passage, and in the plural, bounds or limits.
Continue.
The Phoenicians, therefore, might either have called the most considerable river of this tract and one of its boundaries Eber, Ibra.
Remember, it said Hannibal crossed the Ebro River? We read that last week.
Right.
That's the Hebrew river he crossed. Eber River. Eber River. Eber River. Iberian Peninsula. Go ahead.
And from thence styled the inhabitants of it Iberians.
And from thence styled the inhabitants of the area Hebrews, Iberians, or Ebos in Africa. Ebos. Or Aberus in the Americas. Haberus in the Americas. In Puerto Rico called themselves Aberus or Hebrews. Same thing. Go ahead.
Or have denominated the tract itself Iberia from its situation, it having been generally considered by them as one of the remotest regions or western limits of the earth. Be that as it will, we can by no means think it probable that any part of Spain was called Iberia, from a colony of Iberians settled there, since history does not in the least countenance such a notion.
Right, so he's arguing it. Jump down to but it appears.
But it appears from Bocart and others that the Phoenicians called Spain, at least that part of it known to them, Spania or Spanja, from Shafan or Span, or a rabbit, because it abounded with those animals. In support of this notion, it may be observed that in many manuscripts of Curtius, Justin, Capella, Apelius, Julius, Capitilius.
No, all I want was those animals. But go back to it says, be that as it will, we can by no means think it probable that any part of Spain was called Iberia from a colony of Iberians settled there, since the history does not in the least countenance such a notion. So what he's saying is he's saying that you can't argue the fact that the land was named Iberia other than the fact that the settlers there were Iberians. That's what he's saying. There's no other argument aside from the fact that those who settled there were in fact Iberians or Hebrews. That's what he's saying. All right?
Oh.
And they called it Spania, huh?
So going back up top, when it says the Chaldees, is this the same?
It's a language.
It's a language?
Yeah, it says
Okay.
Phoenicians might either have called the most considerable river of the tract, I'm sorry, Hebrew, as well as the Chaldee, Syriac, or Phoenician, Ebra, or Ebra. It's the same name, the same word, just different pronunciation, different languages.
Chaldees. Okay, understand.
Right. All right. So now, 459. Let's go to from the. I want to start at.
You know the reason why I asked Deke because that same when we hear the word Chaldees, we know that goes back to Genesis 11 when Abraham took his family to that area. So it's still referring to the Hebrews.
It's from the Babylon.
Right,
the
right.
language. Go to from the page 458, the bottom, from the Phoenician. 458. No, 458. Go back to 458 again. The bottom. It says from the Phoenicians.
Right here.
It starts from there and goes into 459. I'm sorry. From the
Phoenicians.
Now 459.
Blow it up. Spania, the Romans deduced their Spania or Hispania.
So the Romans named it Hispania based upon what we called it first. They got that from us. They said, okay, we're going to call it that because they called it that. They were here first. They called it that. We'll call it that also. Hispania, like Hispanic. Okay? Rabbit. It means rabbits. Yeah. Okay? Go ahead.
Which appellation, as well as Iberia. In common with the Greeks, they applied to the whole continent of Spain.
The Romans called the entire continent of Spain Hispania, even though we called the part we had power over that part Spain. All right? Jump down to, however, let me see. Keep going.
They applied to the whole continent of Spain. That this country, or at least a considerable part of it, produced rabbits.
You're gonna hold on. See, produce rabbits. You're gonna end at ever since prevailed. Go ahead.
In vast abundance, may be events from the concurrent testimony of Varro, Strabo, Pliny, Elian, and many other writers of good authority, who tell us of an immense damage those creatures had done to this country.
They were eating all the crops up. The rabbits. Go ahead.
By spreading their burrows so far as to undermine and overturn whole cities.
Their crops. Go ahead.
Yeah. But that the chiffon of the Phoenicians answer to the rabbit can by no means be allowed.
Go ahead.
However, as the former in many particulars bore a near resemblance to the latter, the Phoenicians at their first arrival in Spain might take them to be the same animal, and from thence impose upon this country a name which has ever since prevailed.
Spain. So that name Spain came from us. We called it Spain first. That area, that South Spain was ours. Then the Romans took over, conquered, and named the whole continent Spain. Like when they conquered Africa, named one part of the land Africa, then the whole continent became what? Africa. Same thing. Same thing.
It's crazy. Esau has that attribute for their Easter. They use that bunny to represent them, right? And it's telling you those bunnies, they destroy cities.
Yeah.
They spread their burrows, their tunnels all over, and they destroy you. And this is the same traits of America, of Esau. Yep.
And one thing though, Dick, if I may go to, somebody might be saying, how come we claiming everything used to be ours. Why is that? Let's read that in 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 55. Because the whole world was created for the Israelite.
Right.
Especially, you know what? First, let's read the Deuteronomy 11, 20, is it 25, 21? No, 24.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 24. Every place whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours.
That's all I want. So that's what the Lord said.
Yeah.
Everywhere we
Yeah,
go.
that's it.
That's it. Now let's go to 2nd Ezra.
Second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
That's it. Right there.
Right.
So
Everything
was
is
made for
ours.
us, yeah.
Yep.
So that's why everywhere we go, we name it.
Right.
The
Everything's
river,
ours.
River, you know?
Right.
That's the same thing too in, I forgot the name of that book about the Taínos, about the land, the river, the name.
Named
of
after
the
their
rivers
fathers.
After their fathers.
Right.
Yep. This well, the Samaritan woman says this well was named after our fathers.
Right. Joseph. Genesis 10, verse 21. Genesis 10, 21. They named it the Iberian Peninsula, right? 10, 21, and 22.
The book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 21. Unto Shem, also the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram.
Aram, that's where the word Aramaic comes from because it's a Semitic language. It's an ancient Shemitic language because Aram was an ancient Shemitic person. All right, but we want to deal with the parts. It's children of Eber. The children of Eber, which is Hebrew. That's what Abraham was called Abram the Eber, Abram the Hebrew. That's what he was. That's what we called ourselves. Remember, we referred to the land in Mexico as Yucatan. Yucatan. That was what? That was a oldest son of or second oldest son of Eber.
It was Joktan.
Joktan, right?
Joktan.
Right. Where's it at? Real quick. Let me get it real
It's
quick.
down to verse 25 and
Let me get
26.
it real quick so I don't mess myself up. That's not what that says. Let me see.
Hey man, we want to give a shout out to Captain Joel. Congratulations.
Yeah, the little,
We
the
miss
little
you.
one, the
Where
little
you
girl.
at? You know.
All praises, all praises.
Looking for that.
Verse 25. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, and from his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Right. So Eber had Peleg. Peleg was the chosen line, and he had Joktan, which is Yucatan. That's Yucatan Peninsula.
Right.
All right. Same thing. Or Joktan Peninsula. Now, let's go to West African. That I want. Page written by a brother in the 1800s. This is page 170, and we're going to be 170 to 171. 170 to 171. It's upside down. This was written in 1868 by a brother. He was from Africa, I believe. He was, I think he was Igbo, right?
I think he was here. He was on this
Yeah.
side. He just wrote.
Yeah.
But he think he traveled to Africa and
Right.
so forth.
Page 170 to 171. And we're gonna start at hold on. From a little, and end at fanaticism. So 170 from a little.
From a little study of the ethnology of the language of Western Africa.
Hold on, let me find out where you at. Hold on. I should have got you on 69. Damn. You do? Yes, sir. 169? Yes, sir. Oh, let me get that verse. Damn. Let me read. But when the Mohammedans, start from there, the bottom of it. All praises. Thank you. Y'all all right over there, man. Y'all all right. Y'all doing all right, man.
The brothers been in the
Clap
spirit.
your hands to yourself.
Hey, drop a bomb for yourself, man.
Yeah. Just pop for yourself. You got it? When the Mohammedans, start from there. That's for you Muslims out there.
Go up
I
top.
don't like that religion.
Oh, there you go, right there,
The bottom, when the Mohammedans overspread.
But when Mohammedanism overspread northern Africa.
Remember, I said to you earlier, it became the Maghreb. The Muslims conquered North Africa and sold us to the Portuguese. There was a slave trade going on. They took us to the Far East. Portuguese took us to the far west of America, yada, yada, yada. They took over North Africa or the Maghreb or Mauritania or the land of the Moors. Go ahead.
But when Mohammedanism overspread northern Africa, destroying by fire and sword all those of another.
Another what? What did the Muslims destroy? All those of another what?
Another religion.
Oh, that's what the Islam was doing. Go ahead.
The Israelitish descendants.
The who?
The Israelitish descendants.
Oh, the Israelitish descendants in northern Africa. Where Hannibal and them is from.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Or the inhabitants occupying the central portion of Africa.
Which were what? Israelitish descendants. Go ahead.
Passed forward, seeking shelter to the south and west.
You were fleeing from the Arabs now. Go ahead.
A part, namely those from the east central, crossing the Benue or Jaluba branch of the Niger.
Uh-huh.
Descended gradually southward and became intermingled with the original inhabitants.
Mingle with the Hamites that were there. Go ahead.
Protected,
or other Israelites that were there before. Go ahead.
Protected from incursion on the north by the Benue River, and quietly settled between the great on the north by the Benue River.
The Great Nigger and Old Calabar rivers.
Oh, sorry, the Great Nigger and Old Calabar rivers. They remained in peace and grew from one generation to another in idolatry.
We mingle with the other nations that were there. Go ahead.
But still living tangible proofs in the form of their religion of the Judaistic origin of the inhabitants.
Hamite with Israelite customs like Hannibal and them did. Same thing. Go ahead.
After this slight digression,
after us going the hell off slightly, go ahead.
We will now proceed to investigate more particulars relative to the tribes under consideration.
Go ahead.
The language, or the little of it that is known, is full Hebrewisms. The construction of sentences, the verbal significations, the mode of comparison are all typical of the Hebrew.
Go to the from. Go to the from now. From little.
At the same page.
Yeah.
Go down. All right. From a little study of the ethnology of the language of Western Africa and the Hebrew tongue, one is involuntarily
Oh, can you highlight it, please, so I can find it? I don't know where I'm at. Can you highlight it, please? No, hold on. Okay, I got it. From a little study, I got it. Go ahead.
From a little study of the ethnology of the language of Western Africa.
Of what?
Of Western Africa.
Uh-huh.
And the Hebrew tongue.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
One is involuntarily brought to trace out a similarity, and one of them to that of the tribes, which, from the disobedience to the will of God, were dispersed. And the greatest number of them possibly went to Africa.
Damn.
I mean, the lost tribes of Israel.
Oh, damn. Another block. Thank you. Damn. There you go. Go ahead.
If the rites and ceremonies of the religion of the tribes bordering on the banks of the river Niger be closely examined and compared with the religion of the Hebrews at their earliest period.
Watch this. Next page. At their earliest period. Go ahead. Come on.
Igbo.
Which is what?
Heber tribe.
There you go. Igbo tribe. It's Heber. It's Hebrew. Going right back to what? The Iberian Peninsula. Is this too much, man? It's too much. Hold on. We're going to stop at fanaticism. Keep going.
If the Igbo, Heber language with all its corruptions.
Why corruptions? Because we intermingled ourselves with what? The original inhabitants, with the Hamites that were there, like the Nilotics that were there. Go ahead.
Be compared with that of the Hebrews. And if the particular disposition, peculiar disposition of the Hebrew tribes, as detailed in Scripture, and that of the Igbos be properly investigated, there will be a priori reasons for a serious inquiry whether the Igbo tribe, which is but a branch of the Gala tribe in the interior, is the offspring of the lost tribes of Israel.
Go ahead.
Bring it out.
Driven down from Central Africa.
Why?
And forced to cross the eastern or Benue branch of the river.
Why?
Of the Niger by Mohammedan fanaticism.
By Islamic onslaught. That's why they fled these areas, scattered in these areas, fleeing from not the white man, from the Arabs.
Deke, if we have time, can we pull up a map of the Benue River?
Yes.
So they'll know exactly
Where we at?
Wait.
And give me Zephaniah, please, about the beyond the rivers.
So, in other words,
3 and 10.
we were in the land, and when these other nations came,
The Arabs came.
We
fled further
we
south.
fled
and
further
central,
south away from
and
it.
they ended up running into other Africans that were friendly and mingle with them and start learning their works and mingling with them, but still
Right.
maintain some forms of Judaism and the language.
Right.
Despite like you said before, despite what word did he use? Digressing. He said digressing.
Get the Benue River and the Jaluba River. Go ahead.
Zephaniah 3 and 10. You
And
looking
I'll
for
show
that?
you, every time we're in trouble, that's when we fled.
You always
to
flee.
Africa.
Right.
We fled further into Africa, always further into Africa, because Israel is already Africa.
Right.
The northeastern part, we just fled further in.
So there was this book I came across, Dick. You know, y'all brothers putting the spirit on me to go back, dive in there, right? So it was an Edomite that was saying the experience he had with Arabians.
Okay.
Right, and he was touching on Ottoman and Turks. That war they had a lot of. He mentioned about Iberian Jews.
Okay.
They had to flee because it's either they would convert or they would be killed.
Or enslaved. Right?
Enslaved, right? So that has a lot to do with that region and what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and visit that thing.
Okay.
Hey, y'all had a couple of maps. Why you keep switching maps?
It wasn't as clear as.
Okay.
All right.
Unless you see something that's more suitable.
Go back to. I just want the. It says Benue River. I just want to show. Click on the one you had before with the right there. Let me see that one.
Let's see if I find this
No,
one.
no, the first one, the very first one, right here.
You got to blow it up.
Yeah, go ahead. You can't blow it up.
That's Nigeria. That's Nigeria there.
Right. See the Benue
All
River.
the
Put your,
rivers. And you see Chad, Cameroon, nigger right there. So the Benue ties right into it flows right into the nigger river.
right. This
Or
is not.
Niger, Niger River, whatever.
Whatever you want to call it.
I
Right.
call it nigger. It sounds better in my mouth when I say nigger.
But yes, that's the Benue River, and the Jaluba River is adjoined to it on this side over here. Which this is Nigeria. This is Nigeria that we fled. So the old Calabar. So they got a lot of slaves from old Calabar. The Igbos and so forth. That's where they got us from. So we fled into the Benue River and the
Right.
Jaluba.
Right,
that join
to avoid being attacked. We could see where they were coming from based upon dwelling in that area. So it's right by bordering Cameroon, Chad, Lake Chad right there. All of that. Is there any more lands in that area? It says go up. It's Nigeria, right?
That's Nigeria.
That's
Yes, sir.
Nigeria. There you go. All Jake, all in there. Zephaniah 3 and 10.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 10. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia,
Beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, they all flow around that area into westward toward Nigeria. Go ahead.
my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering.
Right. So Israel is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. That goes back to the White Nile, Blue Nile, the Benue, which flows into the Nile, Lake Chad, all of that. It's all the same. Israel was all in that area, all in that region. Israelites were all in that region, fleeing from multiple persecutions. If not African, Arab. If not Arab, white, Caucasian, or European.
Hey, real quick, Deke, I just want to bring this out. The book I was just talking about, which were the Israelites, the Hebrews, they were caught in that crossfire. The book is called 7 Pillars of Wisdom.
Okay.
It's an autobiography by T.E. Lawrence. He served as a liaison during the Arab revolt against Ottoman and Turks. So that's why it was speaking about the Iberian Jews that was in that area during that conflict.
Spanish Jews.
Right.
Jews from Spain.
Right. So they were in that crossfire during the establishment of those empires.
Right. Wow. Go to Universal History again. Pages 7, and we're going to be pages 7 and 9. To get some insight on our forefathers, our brothers.
You see all these things, the persecution of the Jews. So, but how hatred, like when you read, can we read that real quick? Matthew 24, verse 9. Because that's what we keep fleeing, persecution.
Right.
All nations hate us They want to kill us.
So it don't matter where you go.
It don't matter where you
There's
go.
no hiding.
Curses overtake you, no matter where you go.
Yep.
So niggas talk about I love everybody. Everybody hates you.
Right.
Book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
So that was Christ was talking to the disciple, but you look at it, that's what they're doing. They're just trying to deliver us so we could be afflicted, like slavery. You know?
And shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations
Yeah, a whole nation.
for my name's sake.
You're reading about the Greeks. You read about the Mohammedans,
Yep.
the Arabs,
The
you read about the
Arabians.
Africans,
Right.
the Chinese, everybody.
Right.
The Greeks, yep.
Yeah, we all hate it because of who we are, the
Right.
Israelites.
Right. Exactly. Get page 7 of history, universal history again, and we're gonna start at hold on. I didn't mark this time. 1 second. He likewise going into Hasdrubal. Yeah, start from here. It's going into Hasdrubal. He likewise gave, and stop at Romans.
Blow it up. Right, go back some.
It's going into Hasdrubal's
Right there.
mentality, how he was.
He likewise gave orders to have his fleet refitted to protect the maritime parts of the Carthaginian provinces and the islands adjacent to them from all insults of the enemy. But before this was in a condition to put to sea, he received intelligence that several captains of ships had gone over to the Romans.
So you had captains under Hasdrubal, our own people, that ran to the white man. It's always niggas have been around for ages. That's why I don't curse. I don't care about white folks. The problem with me is niggas, Negro. That's you. Y'all have always been around. Always been a problem. Always black people being the problem. They ran to the white man. Watch. Continue. His own captains. Sound familiar? It happened with us. Wicked, evil captains running to the white man or causing problems. Go ahead.
These captains, it seems, have been severely reprimanded for abandoning the fleet upon the Iberus.
They were corrected. They were rebuked for cowardice. And out of anger for being corrected or rebuked, they run to the white man.
Bruh.
Go ahead.
Through cowardice.
Through what?
Through cowardice.
Through cowardice. Go ahead.
The last year, which they not being able to brook, had from that time meditated a revolt from the Carthaginians. Not content with what they had already done.
Not content with being checked for being a coward. Go ahead.
They endeavored to excite the Carthaginians to a detection.
To defection.
Defection, in which they so far succeeded.
Or was it dissection? Well, go ahead.
To a dissection in which they so far succeeded.
So they basically started turning people against Hasdrubal. They left Hasdrubal, then started running around looking for allies within the Hasdrubal to turn against them, like Negroes do amongst us. Go ahead.
That several towns were drawn off from the obedience to the Carthaginians, and another that refuted to join them, reduced by force. This unexpected rebellion proved very prejudicial to Hasdrubal, and a seasonable diversion in favor of the Romans.
Right. So this act helped Romans overthrow us faster, because stupid black people want to revolt and cause problems within the nation. Just like today. Simple, stupid captains causing problems, running to the white man against their brother.
This was Hannibal's brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it's his brother or brother-in-law.
The captains of
Hasdrubal.
Right.
Hasdrubal. I believe this is Captain Hasdrubal's captain. I believe this is Hannibal's brother-in-law.
Okay.
Right, brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. His sister's husband.
Hey, Deacon, man, it's crazy that Esau used the same tactics on
Right.
us. They wait for us to act like animals amongst each other.
Yep.
And then they like, yo, let's get them now. This is the time. Same old tactic.
Go to page 9 now.
And that's why Christ says a house divided
Cannot
against
stand.
itself cannot stand.
Right.
1 second. 1 second.
All because I don't want to be corrected.
Right.
Right. Correction.
Go to page 9. I mix it around. Go to page 9. The consequence of this action. Still dealing with Hasdrubal. This had the desired effect.
Right here. The consequence of this action was a decisive battle, wherein Hasdrubal gave proofs of extraordinary military genius, though fortune declared against him.
Wait, so he showed signs of what?
The consequence of this action was a decisive battle, wherein Hasdrubal gave proofs of an extraordinary military genius, though fortune declared against him.
He still got killed. So our forefather Hasdrubal was a military genius. So was Hannibal, and so was their father before them, Hamilcar. They were all military geniuses. Military geniuses. In which tactics, 2,000 years later, the European man uses today. Esau uses today. All right? So the original Spaniards was black folk. Black people.
Right.
All right? Starting with Japheth first, then Jake came along, then Esau came along later on and took over. Let's get Indians. The book in the Americas. No, give me Caesar and Christ. No, I'm sorry, I'm bugging. Give me Wikipedia, Celtiberians. How much time I got left? Like 5 minutes?
Yeah, like 4
3?
minutes.
It should be quick. Go Wikipedia, go to Celtiberians. Remember it said the land was settled, the Spain was settled by Celtiberians? I'll tell you how to remember the term Celts. Celtiberians. Let's see who they are. And that Celts also helped Hannibal cross the Alps. Remember that? They were called Gauls. Gauls are Celts, the same thing. Celtiberians, we're gonna after this, we're gonna take a break after this. Start at the Celtiberians and end at settlements.
The Celtiberians were a group of Celts and Celticized peoples inhabiting the central eastern Iberian Peninsula during the final centuries BC. They were explicitly mentioned as being Celts by several classic authors. Strabo. These tribes spoke the Celtiberian language.
They spoke the Celtiberian language. Go ahead.
And wrote it by adapting the Iberian alphabet.
Go ahead.
Move it up. The numerous inscriptions that have been discovered, some of them extensive, have allowed scholars to classify the Celtiberian language as a Celtic language. One of the Hispano-Celtic, also known as Iberian Celtic, languages that were spoken in pre-Roman and early Roman Iberia. Archaeologically, I can't pronounce archaeologically, meaning elements link Celtiberians with Celts.
So the many elements link the Celtiberians with Celts. Go ahead.
In Central Europe, but also show large differences with both the Hallstatt culture and
Latinate culture.
So
the Celtiberians and Celts are in relation. They're related. I'm trying to find. Keep going down. It says settlements. I'm trying to find where's the settlements at.
There is no complete agreement on the exact definition of Celtiberians among classical authors.
Because they vary in different nations. You had Japheth, Jake, and Esau. That's why. But these is what I'm referring to as Jake's here.
Nor modern scholars. The Ebro River clearly divides the Celtiberian areas from non-Indo-European speaking peoples. In other directions, the demarcation is less clear. Most scholars include the Aravaki, the Paladones, Ballet, Titai, and Lassones.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find settlements. I don't want you to read a whole bunch of stuff for no reason. Hold on a second. We're going to wrap it up.
Y'all can't type in settlements up here?
Let me see.
It's right here, Deacon. Settlements of circular huts. Is that what you want?
It ends at settlements. Hold on.
Go up, see if there's more.
Hold on.
From the 3rd century?
That's enough. You can stop there. I don't want you reading for no reason.
This ends at settlements.
What end settlements? Where? That's end settlements?
It says subsidiary settlements.
Yeah, but from where you left off? Oh no.
No, sir.
It's way above, right?
Yeah.
Nah, sorry, I saw one. So Celtiberians and Celts are in relation. We'll stop there. Take a break for now. We'll be back. I know your brains are overloaded, so take a break. See y'all in a few minutes. All right? So stay tuned. Shalom.
Dogs, man. Come on, man. Bring your slow ass on. Come on, bro.
How long we been out here? Been out here for a while.
What we do now?
You know what? We going to turn back now. Master never know we left. He never know we
Turn
left.
back? You said turn back?
Hell no, bro.
Man, we can't turn
back.
You see what happened to Toby? Kunta, they cut his foot off.
Right.
The other guy we just passed, man, he's hanging. He turned back, they left him hanging right there. We can't go back. You know what happened to us? Hey, yo, get aloud. Tell them about what happened in your dream.
Look, I was on my bed last night, and I think I was like in a trance or a vision or something. I might have been dreaming. And I saw a big black angel, right? He told me to get Gidron, and Gidron insisted we bring you, right? He said, go east towards Jerusalem. He said, go east towards Jerusalem. That's the way to the truth. That's the way to the light. All right? So that's where we go, all right? We can't give up, bro, all right? Come on. Let's go. Come on.
Bible, Deuteronomy 28, the truth about slavery.
What does this mean?
Ask him. Where you go? Where you go?
Crown the kings, crown the kings, know what I mean? Crowns and rings, country grammar sound serene. Wash them clean, drip that water, southern smoke. I went for broke, got proud of me. Crown the kings, know what I mean? Crowns and rings, country grammar sound serene. Wash them clean, drip that water, southern smoke. I went for broke, got proud of me. Champion sound, king me. They want me in cuffs, enough is enough, free me. I'm calling your bluff, you ain't no Greek, ski-wee. Oops, not Q's, not nukes. Cargos, black boots, you know what to do, salute. Wartime excellence. You strong in the power of his might. Out of darkness in the light. Gold streets in my sight. Who's the king? Christ. Who am I, Israelite? You know what that mean, right? He giving me the crown of life. Ha! Go rolling through the fire. Purge out my impurities as I do what's required. Light it up, take me higher. Level 12 ain't high enough. 144,000 riders right behind him when he crown the kings, know what I mean? Crowns and rings, country grammar sound serene. Wash them clean, drip that water. southern smoke. I went for broke, got proud of me. Crown the kings. Crown the kings, know what I mean? Crowns and rings. Crowns and rings, country grammar sound serene. Watch them clean, drip that water, southern smoke. I went for broke, got proud of me.
Crown the kings, the Lord is King of kings. We kings and priests stricken, this theme is black extreme is. Media blackout, Christ he black, we bringing it back out. Daniel 10 and 6, Revelation 1:14, that Jesus white bread slice. Still in the forefront, same trying to push to the background. Still the truth gon' cover the earth like Feast of Tabernacle campground. Come against it, be happily found and be fighting against God. Stand down. Yo, Dr. Tours long, see how you still selling that. Yo, Dr. Tours long, see why they still buying it. It's bland and it's tasting twisted. Okay, you don't see me, but it's beneficial. The line stop right here at Mason Dixon. Hold the line. Free me. Exit 5 and 1 repeat. Luke 174 3D. With my glasses at GP. Crown me.
Crown the kings. Crown the kings. Know what I mean? Crowns and rings. Crowns and rings. Country grammar sound serene. Wash them clean. Drip that water. Southern smoke. I went for broke. Got proud of me. Crown the kings. Crown the kings. Know what I mean? Crowns and rings. Crowns and rings. Country grammar sound serene. Watch them clean, drip that water, southern smoke. I went from broke, got proud of me.
This right here is so electric. Country bumpkin, wake 'em up, narcoleptic. In pain to be delivered like we expected. Crown my king and yes, he black, y'all gon' accept it. Give me a minute. Country kings always in the building. You're super blind and can't see the vision. I think you lost focus on the mission. Yeah, we making hits back to back like Alabama and Mississippi. Twin crowns for the twin states. God promised us to get the gates. This that dirty. This the streets where kings were made. Where we picked the whole field of cotton while the white man was sipping lemonade. Crown is back where it belongs. Yeah, the South got something to say. Turn up the heat. Country kings ruling over our enemy.
Crown the kings. Crown the kings, know what I mean? Crowns and rings. Crowns and rings, country grammar sound serene. Wash them clean, drip that water, southern smoke. I went for broke, got proud of me. Crown the kings. Crown the kings, know what I mean? Crowns and rings. Crowns and rings, country grammar sound serene. Watch them clean, drip that water, southern smoke. I went for broke, got proud of me.
Crown the king with the founder things. Oops, I mean finer things. I'm a king, I ain't trying to bling, but my light shine like a diamond ring. My rhyming scheme so futuristic, for you to get it, need a time machine. Platinum crown with the green stones, or son to call them lima beans. This burrow, right? I'm melting ice, my gum is dripping pearl white. These matching braces with these platinum swirls tight. Stay fresh to death, prepare to rule the world, right? I'm that bread third type. That be posted at your corner stores with everything you wanna know. Got preset packs and fly stacks in my Bible strap like Geronimo. Babylon is gonna blow, then all hail the King of Kings. He gon' soon the throne and his rule is long, and the 12 tribes gon' bling and bling.
Crown the kings. Crown the kings, know what I mean? Crowns and rings. Crowns and rings, country grammar sound serene. Wash them clean, drip that water, southern smoke. I went for broke, got proud of me. Crown the kings. Crown the kings, know what I mean? Crowns and rings. Crowns and rings, country grammar sound serene. Wash them clean, drip that water, southern smoke. I went for broke, got proud of me.
We were at the Wendy's earlier with a group, but this is a second group. Of course, this here is Israel United in Christ, and then of course across the street you have other folks.
They screaming peace when there ain't no peace. Israel prophesying in the streets. Look at me, the center of attention. Black Messiah coming with a vengeance.
Seeking peace in the streets of Babylon. Brandishing Glock 40s, tucking heat like a carry-on. Sinning against the fathers, got me sleeping, not napping on. Christ the King revealed, that's aerial phenomenon. Kicking against the pricks, lose your soul when that fire comes. We purify better than gold, got my Bible on. And that's all that I know, when Babylon gon' fall, watch it blow, ayy. Switching it up, the nation's gon' drink it, I'm talking the cup. Don't care what you thinking, believe in the gospel, God is thinking. The fires of heaven gon' gather for dinner, to eat up the flesh, the wicked, the sinner. Your mama, your sister, your daddy, your cousin, if they issue. If they mind, they don't repent. They screaming peace when there ain't no peace. Israel prophesying in the streets. Look at me, the center of attention. Black Messiah, coming with a vengeance. Coming with a vengeance. Black Messiah, coming with a vengeance. They screaming peace, it ain't no peace. We prophesying in the streets.
IUIC, see we in the streets with it. Beasts with it, with the kings and the priests with it. My people sleeping, got them dreaming in the sheets with it. So we spit that holy fire, bringing heat with it. We out here fighting for better days. Most sins make better slaves. Gotta come together on the 7th day. Lose 11 and I levitate. 1 plus 11 heaven gates. 12 tribes, no reprobates. Kingdom come, I can never wait. But the patient saints never separate. Christ coming back with a legion of them angels. Picture perfect prophecies, trying to find my angle. Hung up from a tree and they watch his body dangle. So the vengeance of the Lord coming down, you in danger.
They screaming peace when there ain't no peace. Israel prophesying in the streets. Look at me, the center of attention. Black Messiah, coming with a vengeance. Coming with a vengeance. Black Messiah, coming with a vengeance. They screaming peace, it ain't no peace. We prophesying in the streets.
Golden wedges of Ophir. Look at here, we the prophets of the Most High, the only God I fear. Killing your career as a Christian.
We're back. Welcome back. Hope you had time to rest your minds. Rest your minds, keep your minds at ease. I know it's a bit difficult, this class, but let's get through it. Let's go. We're going to go to our want to go now.
A lot of meat.
All praises.
Right. Go to our want to go, Wikipedia now. This is where I want to go. I'm sorry about that. The Celtiberians and the ends of settlements. So go up. Right. No, it's just say the Celtiberians were the most influential. Celtiberians were the most influential. Right under the swords.
No, go back. You was good. Go back to the swords. All right, now. Yeah, that's it. But let me see.
Why is it in such a format like that? The Celtiberians were the most influential ethnic group in Iberia. Type in ethnic group.
Oh, right here. Okay. They got to sit between.
Yeah, damn. Okay. All right.
All right. So the Celtiberians were the most influential ethnic group in Iberia when the Mediterranean powers, Carthage and Rome, started their conquest.
Right. Go ahead.
In 220 BC, the Punic army was attacked when preparing to cross the Tagus River by a coalition of Vessi, Carpetani, and Alcides. Despite these clashes, during the Second Punic War, the Celtiberians served most often as allies or mercenaries of Carthage in its conflict with Rome.
The Celtiberians served most often as allies or mercenaries of Carthage in its conflict with Rome. Remember that book I said earlier that Hannibal's army was full of Negroes. Keep in mind. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And crossed the Alps.
And they crossed the Alps. This Negro army crossed the Alps. Go ahead.
And the mixed forces under Hannibal's command.
They were mixed because some came from Africa, some came from Spain, and some were already in that landmass living there already. Okay? Because you had Carthaginians that traveled there from the time of Israel traveled there. Hanno traveled there. We already traveled there. We had established trade there and all that already. Established ports there. Go ahead.
Under Scipio Africanus, the Romans were able to secure alliances and changed the allegiances of many Celtiberian tribes.
Damn, go ahead.
Using these allied warriors against the Carthaginian forces.
Turn our people against each other. Go ahead.
And allies in Spain. After the conflict, Rome took possession of the Punic Empire in Spain, and some Celtiberians soon challenged the new dominant power that loomed in the borders of its territory.
See black people do? Turn against their own people, then they mad now. White man ruling now. Now they mad. Simple as hell. Go ahead.
Tiberius Sempronius Gracchus spent the year 182 to 179 pacifying the Celtiberians.
Go ahead.
Gracchus boasted of destroying over 300 Celtiberian settlements.
There's a damn demon. They destroyed their homes afterwards. They turned against us. Then the Romans came and destroyed them afterwards.
And Dick, that's the same thing like when the bishop is saying with the other Israelite that's attacking us.
Right.
Now Esau is attacking us. So when he's done with us, what do you think he's going to do with y'all?
Go after them.
Correct.
He's going to go right after y'all.
Simple as hell.
And also, like we won't take care of our neighborhoods, but then we complain when gentrification takes place in that area.
Same thing. Same simple mindset. Go to Caesar and Christ, page 87.
Right, Esau see us all the same. He ain't separating us in no different groups or nothing like that.
Not at all.
And when I'm done with them, I'm going for y'all.
Page 87, Caesar and Christ. We're going to start at step by step and end at surrender. Into surrender.
That's good. Step by step, the Roman Empire grew, not so much through conscious design as through the compulsions of circumstance and the ever receding frontiers of security. In bloody battles at Cremona, 200 and Mutina, 193, the legions again subdued Calcipine, Gaul, and pushed the boundaries of Italy to the Alps. Spain re-won from Carthage, had to be kept under control, lest Carthage should win it again. Besides, it was rich in iron, silver, and gold.
That's how it ended up becoming, Rome became an empire, wealthy. Go ahead.
The Senate exacted from it a heavy annual tribute in the form of bullion and coin, and the Roman governors reimbursed themselves liberally for spending a year away from home. So Quintus Minucius, after a brief proconsulate in Spain, brought to Rome 34,800 pounds of silver and 35,000 silver denarii. Spaniards were conscripted into the Roman army. Scipio Aemilianus had 40,000 of them in the force with which he took Spanish Numancia. In 195 BC, the tribes broke out in wild revolt, which Marcus Cato put down with a hard integrity that recalled the proud virtues of a vanishing Roman breed. Tiberius Sempronius Gracchus.
Here we go again. Sempronius Gracchus, read the name before. Go ahead.
179 BC, adjusted his rule sympathetically to the character and civilization of native population, made friends of the tribal chieftains,
Celtiberians,
and distributed land among the poor. But one of his successors, Lucius Lucilius, 151 BC, violated the treaties made by Gracchus, attacked without cause any tribe that could yield plunder and slaughtered, or enslaved thousands of Spaniards without bothering to invent a pretext.
These Spaniards are Israelites living in Spain. That's what these Spaniards are. Go ahead.
So, Sulpicius Galba.
They put some of us, said earlier, they put some of us in their armies, Roman armies. Go ahead.
Right. So Sulpicius Galba, 150 BC, lured 7,000 natives to his camp by a treaty promising them land. When they arrived, he had them surrounded and enslaved or massacred.
See, yes, he knows Jake. Had them surrounded, enslaved, and massacred. Go ahead.
In 154 BC, the tribes of Lusitania, Portugal, began a 16-year war against Rome. An able leader, Varathis, appeared among them, heroic in stature, endurance, courage, and nobility. For 8 years, he defeated every army sent against them until at last the Romans purchased his assassination.
Damn, go ahead.
The rebellious Celtiberians of central Spain bore a siege of 15 months in Numancia, living on their dead at...
Wait. The rebellious, read again?
The rebellious Celtiberians of central Spain...
The rebellious Celtiberians of Spain, go ahead.
Bore a siege of 15 months in Numancia, living on their dead.
Damn.
At last, 133 BC, Scipio Aemilianus starved them into surrender.
Damn. So they got conquered. They turned against their own brothers and they got conquered. Try to fight back, got conquered. Because black people are stupid.
Any relations? Scipios, Emilianus,
Might be.
and Scipios
might be.
African?
I don't know. It might be.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, I would say it's a relation.
I would say it is a relation.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Americas now, Indians. Page 23. Page 23. Got it here.
You got it?
You know what I'm talking about, right? Page 23. We're gonna start at we're gonna start at about 450 BC.
Blow it up. All right.
Page 23 we should start at about 450 BC, and we're gonna end at coast of Africa.
Go up, probably up in the. Where's it at? Oh, okay, all right, all praise. About 450 BC, the Carthaginians fully integrated and superseded the Phoenicians from their seaports along the.
We read this before. I'm reading it again. Revisiting again. Go ahead.
Along the Mediterranean, their large ships traveled to Africa, India, and Britain, and were reported to have crossed the ocean waters to America.
So the point we want is the large ships traveled to Africa, India, and Britain. And Britain. Hold on, is that what I want to stop at? On the coast. Keep going.
Blow it up some more.
Greek history. Watch this.
Greek history records how the Carthaginian captains Hamilcar and Hanno sailed along the Atlantic coast of Africa.
These guys are naval fleets. These are Israelite brothers. Hamilcar traveled, I believe he traveled toward Long Africa. Hamilcar traveled up to the British Isles, and Hanno traveled down along on the borders of Africa. Right. So one went up, one went down along the Atlantic Ocean. These two, and they established ports in these areas. These two Carthaginians. Now, get page 42. We're going to start at Trento and end that region. Thanks. Page 42.
You have it?
Yes, sir.
Start at Trento, end that region.
Go back. I just seen it. Right here. Trento's accumulated evidence and findings provide an amazing record of Celtic, Iberian, and Phoenician artifacts left in America from approximately 1000 BC to about 1000 AD.
Oh. So you found Celtic-Iberian and Phoenician artifacts here in the Americas around that time, between 1000 AD, 1000 BC to about 10,000 AD. So that's around Solomon's time, in between that time.
Right.
They found Celtic-Iberian and Phoenician artifacts in the Americas? How? Because Israel was over here. But they were called, but on the other side of the world, we were called Celtic-Iberians or Phoenicians. Israelites were. Go ahead.
At a time when the Phoenicians were at their peak as a naval power, with a major port in Spain.
Major port where?
In Spain.
Uh-huh.
And a role as a leading trade nation that exported goods all over the Mediterranean region.
Is that it? Region? That's all I want. Region.
Sir.
Stop there. So as a role and as leading trade nation that exported goods all over the Mediterranean region. Remember earlier how Sidon fell and we took over where Sidon left off. So now, let's go to page 49. Same book. Page 49 now. The name Celts. Page 49, the name Celts. We're going to stop at may have come. Celtic-Iberians, Celts, remember we read earlier in Wikipedia, they're the same people. Celts, Celtic-Iberians, same people.
The name Celts was the designation given to those people who emerged from the same geographical location.
Where
the so-called lost tribes of Israel had disappeared from an earlier stage of world history.
Oh. Oh, that's what they are. Read again.
The name Celts was the designation given to those people who emerged from the same geographical location where the so-called lost tribes of Israel had disappeared from an earlier age of world history.
So the Celts were the lost tribes of Israel. That's what the Celts are. Celtiberians, it's the same people. It's referring to Northern Kingdom at this point. But eventually, Celts become Southern Kingdom also. That's King James and them, but I'll get to that later on. Go ahead.
The people migrated.
These
people migrated across Europe to settle in the British Isles.
Why? Because remember, Himilco and Hanno. Himilco went to the British Isles. Hanno went down to Africa. They sailed that area, and we discovered it. Go ahead.
And the coast of France.
And we founded France too. Go ahead.
And Spain. They were a well-organized sea power all at that time when Julius Caesar and his Roman legions invaded Britain in 55 BC.
Go ahead.
The Celtic influence is found in megalithic stone structures with Oghams writing, concentrated in Ireland.
Where?
In Ireland.
Where?
In Ireland.
Concentrated in Ireland. You better keep Ireland in mind also. That word is very important. Keep Ireland in mind too. Go ahead.
Scattered across Scotland.
Oh, keep Scotland in mind. That's also very important with the Celts.
The Isle of Man. South Wales.
South Wales.
Devonshire.
Devonshire. Devonshire. Sound like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Devonshire. Go ahead.
To the ancient Roman city of Caliva
Atrebatum.
Go ahead. Similar markings dating to 500 BC have been found on standing stones in Spain and Portugal.
Go ahead.
It is from this area of the Iberian Peninsula.
It's from this area of Spain, the Iberian Peninsula. Go ahead.
That the Celts.
Who came from Spain. Go ahead.
Who colonized Ireland may have come.
The Celts colonized Ireland. The Celts colonized Ireland. All right? Now, let me see. And where did the Celts come from? The same place the lost tribes of Israel came from.
Dick, continue reading.
There's more? Go ahead, read more.
No, just something about over here. Go ahead.
It is from this area of the Iberian Peninsula that the Celts who colonized Ireland may have come.
Right.
The discovery of similar carvings in the state of West Virginia to New England, along with many petroglyphs with Ogham writing found as far west as Oklahoma.
Right, so they found the same writings in the Americas because it's the lost tribes of Israel on this side of the world.
Let me read that last sentence too, Deke.
Go ahead.
Have caused some speculation that the Celts may have come to the New World as early as 100 BC.
So they came to this side of the world. They found Celtic writings on this side of the world because the Celts and the lost tribes of Israel was the same people on this side of the world, writing the same things, petroglyphs, same thing. But they also colonized Ireland, Scotland, Devonshire, Wales, South Wales, Britain, Scotland. You know, they say like Scotland.
And from Scotland.
We're going to get to all of that soon. Dark Ages. Remember I said to y'all, we're in the grassroots of it. Now, let's get wars. Not I want. Page 192.
For Pete's sake.
They definitely make sure they hide that history right there.
Yeah, they don't want you to know that one.
Nah.
Yeah, man. Wars. Get that next.
For Pete's sake, man, we have to hide that history from the niggas.
Wars, page 192. So now we know the Celts is definitely Jakes. Celtiberians and Celts are the same people, which came from the lost tribes, came from the same place the lost tribes of Israel happened to disappear from, to be Samaria.
We start from the top, Deacon.
No, 192 and the Phoenician and end that allies. No, we're gonna start the Phoenician. Let me get there with you.
Yes.
We're gonna start the Phoenician now. You know what I want? You see where I want? I mean,
It says the Phoenician or Punic people.
yeah. Start there. Hold on.
Go out some. Right there.
Yeah, right there's good.
What you mean you can't?
Right there.
The Phoenician or Punic people spread
Phoenician or Punic people. Go ahead.
spread into Libya,
Libya,
Malta,
Malta. Go ahead.
southern Spain.
Southern Spain. Remember, Iberia of the Phoenicians. That was southern Spain. Then the Romans named the entire area Spain. Go ahead.
Southern France.
We took over southern France. Remember we read earlier, we shelled this France also. Devonshire. Go ahead.
Sicily.
We took Sicily. South Italy. Go ahead.
Sardinia.
Sardinia.
And Corsica.
Uh-huh.
As prolific seamen, Phoenician and Carthaginian sailors circumnavigated Africa and traveled as far as Ireland and perhaps the Americas.
Perhaps the Americas, man. They know where Israel was.
Mm-hmm.
It says traveled as far as Ireland and the Americas. Continue.
When Rome conquered Carthage, many of her citizens claimed to be Jews.
And keep Malta in mind. Malta, that's important. I had that underlined for a reason. Ireland and Malta. Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
When Rome conquered Carthage, many of her citizens claimed to be Jews and therefore allies of the Romans.
Wait. Whoa.
Yeah. Rewind.
You got to rewind that and read that slower. We're going to end that allies to the Romans. Read again.
When Rome conquered Carthage.
When Rome conquered, remember that movie, Juba? Mm-hmm. He worked in the salt mines of Carthage. He made a slave. Remember that? Read
Right.
again.
When Rome conquered Carthage.
Watch this.
Many of her citizens claimed to be Jews.
Go ahead.
And therefore allies of the Romans.
So many of the Carthaginians claimed to be Israelites. The Carthaginians were Israelites.
That's right.
Period. And these Carthaginians sailed to Ireland and Britain and became Celts and Celt-Iberians and came to this side of the world different times. It's all our people. Now, oh boy, let's get Great Britain. Great Britain's.
At this point of the history, Deke, would that still fall under the curse of Deuteronomy 28 that we are scattered all over?
Still scattered everywhere. Still scattered everywhere.
It's still the origin.
Still dispersed.
Origin of our history.
Right.
Deuteronomy 28.
Right.
Whether in rulership or in captivity, we were still under that curse.
Right, under the Romans.
Yep. Because like the Moors were ruling, but not according to the law, statutes,
Not
or
at all.
commandments. So even
Not
not fully, right. So even in their rulership, we were still under that curse.
Right. Still.
Yeah, and that's the reason why they lost their empire.
Exactly.
It wasn't our time to rule anyway.
Right.
Because they're keeping the laws.
Short-lived. Page 41. And we're gonna start at the south of Spain. This book goes back as far as
Right there, that's good.
1883. Pretty old. Page 41, start at the south of Spain. And we'll end at center of commerce. Remember, remember that word. Keep Ireland in mind. Ireland. Go ahead.
Where are you going?
Start at the south of Spain.
That's at the top, right there. The south of Spain was at a very early period inhabited by a people called Iberians.
Uh-huh.
Their origin has not been satisfactorily settled.
Yes, it has. We settled it already. Go ahead.
In fact, they are generally spoken of as if they were indigenous to that country. Their occupation of that part being of such ancient date, and so long before what is vaguely called the historic age. Of recent years, however, it has been held by historians of the more honest class that historic notices of ancient migrations are not the only means which may be employed in tracing the particular ancient family of our race to which a modern people belong. But the inclination to a group is to group all facts bearing upon their national affinity, and from a careful analysis arrived at a conclusion.
Right. Where these guys come from? Who are they? Have they always been here for a long time? But are they originally from here? These are the questions being asked, questions being posed. Go ahead.
According to the direction in which the greatest weight of probability points.
Right. So the most likely answer to what they're from is this. Watch.
Then there is almost an exact likeness between the word Iberi, and Hebrew.
Cool. Here's the backup. Cross-reference. Then there is almost an exact likeness between the word Iberi and Hebrew. Go ahead.
Then there is almost an exact likeness between the word Iberi and Hebrew. The Hebrew form of the latter word is without the aspirate and is almost equivalent to the English letters Eber.
See, so if there's any doubts in the last book, there's more on this one. Go ahead.
There is a frequent interchange of E and I in their use, in their spellings of ancient names.
Right, in terms of like I-B-E-R, or rather than E-B-E-R. Same, go ahead, interchangeable, go ahead.
And the prefixing, the aspirate H, is quite common. Hence, we have Heber for Eber. Hiberian or Iberian.
Ibernian or Ibernian.
Sorry.
I with an H, Hibernian or Ibernian. Go ahead.
Upon an old map with following long title, Hispania or Hiselo, Garado de la, all right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, all right. 1631 AD, the name of a certain river is given as Eber.
Or
Ebro.
Remember earlier Hannibal crossed that river. Ebro. Go ahead.
Rio, Abla Iberis Flu.
Iberis Flu,
The Eber or Hebrew River.
The Eber or what?
Hebrew River.
The Eber or Hebrew River. That's what he crossed. Go ahead.
And after times, or afterwards called Iberis.
Go ahead.
Iberis. The prefixing of the letter A does not H does not necessarily prefix an aspirate. Many of our best scholars write in Hebrew, pronounced an Ebrew.
Hebrew. Go ahead. Keep going.
That sound like Benjamin. Benjamin will take out the H. Yo, bro, I know Hebrew, man.
Yeah.
So that's still our people. Yo, shout out to Benjamin, man. Captain Amaziah, man. You know, we love you, baby. That's right. Captain Barnabas, we love you.
We have a, can you blow it up a little bit more? We're going to now try to go out a little bit.
Then there is.
Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. We had already seen that the ships of Solomon, along with those of Hiram, carried on a regular trade with a city called Tarshish, which is believed to have been the Greek Tarsus in Spain. If then a large business were carried on between the Hebrews and Tarshish, there would be sure to be a large number of Hebrew residents or traders in that city. Solomon would have his agents there, and it is of the most evident probability that private enterprise will lead to others locating themselves in that center of commerce.
We stayed there. Solomon had his men sail these areas, and we stayed there. In Spain, we stayed in India, we stayed where we sailed that.
Like, man, I like it here.
I like it here. This place is nice.
Right.
He had agent doing import and
Export. Right, and we stayed there.
Hey, that go back to that scripture you brought out earlier about every place we shall tread.
Right.
Tread our foot.
Center of commerce.
So, Deke, you got more on that? Let me let you
That's
finish.
it. Center of commerce is all stop at. That's perfect. Stop right where I want to stop at.
All right. So, could you give the year of that book right here?
This book is
this information is coming out.
It says first published in 1883.
1883. So it's telling you about our Hebrew presence all over the world,
Pretty
over a
much,
mass
over the known
area,
world.
known world, right?
Well, yeah.
So now, then you have, was it in May 14, 1948, you had the Jewish state established. Why would you have to establish something that's already been there?
Yeah.
You understand? Which prove who's who. right now. You know, I'm kind of slow, but I'm putting two and two together. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You over there
Kinda
thinking, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking, bro. You know what I mean? So why would you have to create a Jewish state when we was already there?
It was first published in 1883, but I have this book. This version I have here is 1873.
1873.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We were long here before that Jewish estate. You know what I mean? We just was lost to that understanding who we are. All praises.
Right. All praises. Indeed.
If they was the real Jews, why would you have to hide the history?
Exactly.
Right. And whitewash everything. You know?
Exactly.
So I want you to keep in mind the word that was used. It says Hibernian or Ibernian. I want you to keep that in mind. I have it underlined for a reason. Hibernian or Ibernian. Keep that in mind. It's very important later on. If I get there, I hope that I get there. Go to Wikipedia, Ibernia. Ibernian or Ibernian. Wikipedia, Ibernia. Remember, Ibernia is Hebrew. Ibernia, H-I, is Hebrew. Right? And we read earlier, in the book I have earlier, the wars, we settled in Ireland, right? And Malta, and even the Americas, right? Remember that? Called Celts, right? Remember that? Ireland. The accent, oh, that was us talking like that, by the way. Wearing the kilts, that was us. Also.
So Israel, if you taking notes, get your pens and your paper, write those countries down that we had named.
All right,
They're going to
Ireland,
play
Malta,
a key role.
Right.
Brother's gonna go to the Celtics game like, yo, that was us right there.
You look good in green. That was us. Wikipedia, Ibernia. I got time. Come on.
Ibernia. Ibernian may refer to of Ibernia, Latin name for Ireland, hence Irish.
Damn.
Ibernia is Ireland, man. The ancient name for Ireland is Ibernia. Ireland is Israelites also.
Damn.
Ireland is another form of Ibernia. Ibernia is Hebrew. Going back to Igbo, going back to the Iberian Peninsula. It's the same people. Living in the same area, selling in the same area, like Solomon started from the time of Solomon to the time of Sidon's fall to his rise under our ruling, under our dominion at that point. We spread more and took these lands over. So it got lost in translation somehow. Somehow Ibernia became Ireland. And the people of Ireland were referred to as the Irish. Irish and Scottish is the same damn people. Celts is where the Scots come from. King James was a Scot, and he was Jake. Yeah, I think y'all got it. I think y'all understand so far where I'm going with this.
Yeah, they're fighting it, but they know.
I hope you Edomites is on there watching, especially you. Go to the next book I have. You're the Chaldees. You know I want. Thank you, sir. I would like to have some time. This is good. Piss people off even more with time. I want to start at page 39, and we're going to stop at page 40 of this book. There is found. We'll start it there. There is found. That's where we'll start. There is found. There is found. There is found.
Blow it up. Right there. There is found in Irish tradition a Heber whose name was given to Ireland, and which is to be perceived in the word Hibernia.
Hibernia. Go ahead.
Whether the Bible, Heber, and the Heber of Irish history may be the same does not concern us so much as the fact that Ireland has preserved to the present time more distinct marks of the ancient than can be pointed to in any other country.
The ancient Ur, as in Ur of the Chaldees, where Abraham is from. Ur, go ahead.
Whether of Asia or Europe. Besides Ireland having had once the name of Hibernia.
So what? Stop. Besides Ireland having what?
Besides Ireland having had once the name of Hibernia.
From what?
From Heber.
From Eber. Go ahead.
There are names derived of Heber in England and Scotland.
And Scotland. Go ahead.
In Scotland.
Page 40. And we're going to stop at Hibericum. In Scotland, what?
In Scotland, you have page
40. I didn't give you that. I gave you that. I said page 40. You don't have it?
Is that it?
Oh, come on, y'all. I don't want the flow off. I gave you all the pages. Yeah, come on, man. You're throwing me off the flow here. Page 40.
Hey, D, can we read a scripture?
Yeah, go ahead.
Psalms 111 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, please. Because the history, the wisdom and understanding that you bring out through history, I didn't know this stuff. I didn't know that, the so-called blacks, the lost 10 tribes were Celtic or come from Eber. I didn't know all this. So I just want to read this real quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10.
Yes, sir.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Go ahead.
A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
The first and foremost, a good understanding of all they that do his commandments, that fear of the Lord, is understanding the law, statute, commandments in the Bible. And second of all, you start to understand history. Once you understand the Bible, then you start to go and say, okay, this book will filter through the Bible if you understand what I'm saying. Now you start to gain wisdom and knowledge and understanding of what it's saying and what the Bible and what it's saying throughout history. Right. I didn't know all this information that was being brought out. Mm-hmm. All I know was, Facebook, basketball games, Iverson stats. Well, all this history coming out is because that we fear the Lord. The Lord's opened up the understanding and wisdom he's putting on the leadership.
All praises, right.
That's right.
Got it? Thank you. So we're going to go back to where we at. Let me get the book so I can read along with y'all. I'll wait till y'all done. Well, go ahead and read it down, Jess. Yeah, no big deal.
All right. What's going on? You good?
They got it. I'm going to blow it up. So, yeah. 139, just the bottom part of 139, so the thought isn't lost. So keep in mind, you got Scotland, I got Ireland, that dealt with Britain, the Celts. I got to keep all these in mind. Because you think of those names, you think, oh, white folks. Nah, originally. No.
Right.
It took over.
Says, besides Ireland, having had once the name of Hibernia from Heber, there are names derived of Heber in England and Scotland.
Go ahead, watch this.
In Scotland, the Hebrides. In England, the old name of York. Blow that up some.
The old name of York in England is called what?
Ibericum or Hebericum.
Ibernicum. Ibernicum or Ibernicum.
Ibernicum.
Still Hebrew again. Going back to the Iberian Peninsula, our people settled both areas and named it Hebrew. Ibernicum or Ibericum. Same place. That's going into what? England, of York. Okay? I'm showing y'all. We ruled these places. Now.
You want to see some of the next paragraph?
Read the next paragraph.
It may appear as the argument unfolds itself that the balance of proof will rest on the side of the Irish Heber, having been a veritable Hebrew.
Dang.
A stronghold of the Hebrew was Iberia, a name under which Spain was once known.
There you go again. They're all tied together. It all ties together. We ruled both lands. We took both lands instead of both lands from a long time.
Hold on, let me see what's going on here. Let me read a little more. A great deal of the mystery that surrounds Heber may be cleared away when we remember our teaching that the scripture Hebrew was Chaldean first and then Hebrew and afterwards Israelite.
Damn.
What was promised to our forefather.
And that it is recorded that.
That's Milesius.
Right, this is folklore here. But our people did sell this land. In terms of the names, it's folklore, but we did sell these lands. That's fact. Now, go to Numbers 15:38. You got time? Yeah, I'm sure you got. Yeah, Numbers 15:38. And give me Phoenician. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Page 146 and 47. Numbers 15. verse 38 and 39.
The book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring.
Right. So that was their custom, to keep the commandments and wear fringes to remind us to keep the commandments. So wear fringes, right? With a ribbon of blue. Let's get page 146 and 147 of this book regarding Phoenicians in Ireland. Page 146. And we're going to start from the Phoenician Iberi.
To the Phoenician Iberi belong also the...
Matter of fact, no. Let's read the small paragraph on the top. I can't leave that out. It's right there. I didn't even know that was there. But let's read it. The what?
The Irish ciliary.
The Irish ciliary. The Irish of Ireland, ciliary. Now, that word ciliary, a tribe of the Phoenicians. Keep that in mind. The Irish ciliaries. Ciliary. Go ahead.
Whether so-called, you want me to read it? Go down?
Yeah, read it.
Whether so-called because wearing breeches.
What do they wear?
Breeches.
What do the Irish ciliary wear?
Breeches.
Go ahead.
Origin of the Spanish word Celeguele. Not all the Phoenicians of Ireland called ciliaries. This word implying a condition of their race or their superstition. From them, the island Ciliura, so-called, whether there be only one such or several. Derivation of the word Caceteres, islands of that name in the Spanish Sea, why called Sica by the ancients.
Continue.
To the Phoenician Iberi.
To the Phoenician Iberi, or the Phoenicians of Spain. Go ahead.
Belong also the people of the ciliaries.
So the ciliaries of Ireland come from the Phoenician Iberi, the Phoenicians of Spain. Meaning they left from Spain and came to Ireland and settled. Remember we read earlier, they settled in Ireland, they settled in Malta, and they settled in Scotland, Britain. Go ahead.
Who had fixed their residence in the British Isles.
There you go. Who fixed their residence in the British Isles. Why? From the time of Hamilco and Hanno traveling there. Go ahead.
And of whom Tacitus thus speaks.
Watch this.
Their faces are colored.
Whoa, wow. Whoa. Their faces are colored. Their faces are colored. Remember, the Celts and Phoenicians are the same people. The Ciliaries come from the Phoenicians. It's the same people. And their faces, according to Tacitus, are colored.
Right.
Colored people. Go ahead.
Their hair, for the most part, twisted.
They have twists in their hair. Twists in their hair. Go ahead.
And seem to encourage the belief that the ancient Iberi, who lay opposite to Spain, had crossed over and seized themselves of these settlements.
See that? They left from Spain and came over here. Go ahead.
The Iberi alluded to are, of course, says, next page.
Bocart.
Those of Tarsus, who were a colony of the Phoenicians.
They were a colony of Phoenicians. Go ahead.
For these alone possess either the spirit or the skill requisite for navigation and the transplanting of colonies into distant countries.
Go ahead. Remember Solomon's fleet. Transplanting of colonies into distant countries. Go ahead. They travel. Go ahead.
And as there will be an effort, no doubt, to scoop the origin of the word ciliaries from the vowels of the Phoenician language. The learned, says he, well know that the inhabitants of the British Isles, as well as the Gauls,
were what?
Were accustomed to wear breeches.
There you go. Accustomed to wear breeches because these were Israelites. These were Phoenicians that settled from Spain and came to these places and kept the commandments, well, to an extent. They rocked the fringes. Whether they keep the commandments, I don't know. But they did wear their customary dress.
Right.
As Israelites.
So there wasn't naked people running around with spears and all that.
No.
Savages.
No, they were not. And these ciliaries, these Silures, you're going to find out who descends from them. Who descends from these Silures. All right? So, I'm going to end it on that. We're going to end on that right there.
We got to keep the suspense going.
Yeah. End it on that. So I got 3 more pages to go, but I ain't got the time to go through them, so I'll leave it alone. All right, so shout outs to the IT team. Brothers did an excellent job, a fantastic job. And shout out to the breakfast team, sisters always coming through.
Yeah, man. All
looking
praises.
out. Breakfast was amazing as usual. So any announcements, officer?
Yes. Right now, we would like to shout out the house of Captain Joel. Congratulations to him and his wife. Brought a beautiful baby girl into the nation. All praises to the Most High. One of the reasons why he's not here, he's
occupied.
He's occupied. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, all praises, congratulations.
Hey, Captain, you going in extra bullets for your shotgun, man.
Yeah, extra. You need extra bullets. You know what I'm saying? Hurry up and get them now. You know what I mean? Also, he did, well, I'm imagining if he was here, he would have said, don't send diapers, send the books. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, so right now we got, please support our Hidden History show. You can do so by going to IUIC New Jersey at IsraelUnite.org. Once again, support our Hidden History show by donating at IUIC.NewJersey at IsraelUnite.org. Also support IUIC Boosters Club at IUIC. .fundraiser at IsraelUnite.org. All right. Please like, subscribe, and share our Hidden History on your social media, on your Facebook and your YouTube, and spread the word. All right. Spread the word, Israel.
And those of you who may have missed last week's class, you can always go to the channel, go to our Hidden History Radio YouTube channel, where we have all the backups of the videos from chapter 1 all the way up to present. So don't come aboard saying nothing stupid about, I don't understand, this is misleading, after watching part 12, and you ain't watched 1 through 11. Don't be retarded. Don't be retarded, please.
That's right.
All right? Watch part 1 and up to now, present, to catch up with everybody else. You don't do that. You didn't do that in school. Don't do it in school here either.
Right.
All right. Also, Israel, with this great understanding, and if you've been paying attention to Shout Out Tuesday and to all the classes Bishop been bringing out, this is the time to store up. Store up. Let's not be simple.
Negligent.
No pigeon shopping. Don't be negligent. You understand? This history is profound to what we went through and what we're gonna go through. All right. So make sure you stock up. Make sure if there's pantries open, stock up for your schools, stock up for your houses. All right. With that, Israel, without further ado, we say shalom.
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 Thank you. Most High Christ bless.
Most High Christ bless.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. History, history.